Good morning. How are you? It's your buddy, Uncle Bruce. I'm here. I'm the guy. Welcome, one, welcome all to Stock Markets with Bruce. Good to see you guys this morning. Hope you're doing all right. It is Wednesday, February the 16th, and we're getting ready for the midweek market session today to see what's going to happen. Got to wonder where's the market headed and how fast does it want to get to where it's going to go? That is the question as well. We're watching, as usual, a whole bunch of stuff at the same time. Some things in North America, some things Europe. And we always keep our eye out of the corner of our eye at China and Asia, and what have you, because we have to. We have no other way. We've got to be on top of these markets. At the moment, I'm showing the pre-market with the Dow Jones off 50 points. That's a nothing burger, kids. I'll call that good news. I've got S&P down 6.75 points, nothing burger. Nasdaq down 23 points, another nothing burger. Now, all morning this morning, for the last hour and a half, we've been negative. We've been in the red for the pre markets. The one market I'm watching much more closely than these would be the oil market. Crude oil is going to say everything about what's going on, and it is trading at 93.24 a barrel, up $1.17 this morning. That's the bad news. Oil has not continued to decline in price after going from the low 80s to the mid 80s into the low 90s into the mid 90s with this Ukraine situation. The Ukraine situation continues to bubble along here. The Russians are kind of intimating that they have withdrawn troops back to bases, and the NATO allies are going, we don't see that. We've got satellites up here. We're watching every move you guys make. We can take a photo every 5 minutes if we want. I mean, they could probably have a photo every minute if they wanted. They're watching positioning of Russian forces, and they're saying there's no way that the Russians have pulled back from Ukraine in any meaningful way. The reality is that at any moment in time, the Russian army could be told to move forward, and they could very quickly move into Ukraine. In a matter of hours, they could be in another 20, 30 miles from three sides without any issues, without really much resistance. There'll be some, but it wouldn't take much. In any event, the markets are tentatively negative. It's eggshells. The markets are walking on eggshells, and this is bad for markets. Markets don't like walking on eggshells. They have enough issues to think about with regard to supply chain problems. Markets have enough to worry about with inflation out of control or seemingly still rising up. Interest rate concerns, balanced budgets or lack thereof of governments and what have you. They don't need this Ukraine thing to add to the mix. This is not what is required. And so the Russians, why haven't they moved in already? Why haven't they just gone in there and just kicked butt, taken another 20 miles of territory on the eastern side of Ukraine and just kind of start, grab another 20 miles of territory? Because the cost to the Russian economy, the GDP, and the cost to the average citizen in Russia would be the problem. It's not that the Russian army would suffer tens of thousands of losses and all that. No, that's not the case. They could do this rather easily without too much loss of life, actually. No, they don't want, or they seem not to want at this point. Putin is measuring very carefully and listening very intently to his economic advisors who are saying to him, yeah, here's the thing, Vlad. We're hearing that if we make a move into the Ukraine, the Western G20 countries out there are likely to cut us off from international banking for a while. Like, this is serious stuff. That means the ruble will be essentially a third world currency. not desired by any Western country whatsoever. I mean, the exchange rate will plummet, and this will create a drop of real standard of living for all domestically located Russians. Means every import coming into to Russia will probably go up by 50% in price. Inflation will rocket. The average Russian citizen will be much poorer, and the average Russian citizen, the average, is not all that wealthy. There are those in Russia who do well. The top 10%, yeah, they do great. They have international holdings, they have dollars, they have euros, they have Swiss francs, they've diversified their assets, they have real estate in Europe or elsewhere. They are into gold, they're into investments in other currencies. They're fine, the top 10%. And this is where Putin has a whole bunch of his supporters. I mean, the top 10% love this guy because Putin has made sure that as long as they're loyal to him, he's making sure that he's loyal to them, so that their standard of living is just perfecto. It's those, there's the bottom 20-30% who are the down and outers, and then there's the middle, and this is the group where he has to keep winning, theoretically, elections. Yeah, he has to keep winning their affection so that they don't go on a massive strike and stop participating in the economy. It's when your domestic population decides, you know what, I'm not going to obey red lights anymore. I'm not going to obey. Don't turn right. No right turns on red lights. I'm just going to turn right when I feel like it. Four-way stops. Yeah, well, I might stop. I might not. Depends if I see any cars coming. You're supposed to do reporting to the feds, with taxes, and you don't report anymore. You're supposed to pay your taxes installments every whatever, and you just don't pay, and you make them find you, and all of a sudden millions are doing it, and there aren't enough inspectors to go get the money. I mean, just everybody stops paying. Next thing you know, the government hasn't got money to pay itself, and this starts a downward trend of complete disarray. It's anarchy. So it's anarchy. And this is what created the complete collapse of East Germany in 1989-90, even prior to 89. The Berlin Wall, that wall, it didn't fall in an hour or two. It started falling 2 years earlier, before it actually fell. It all started in 86, 87. And by 89, East Germany was so crippled, and East Germans were so fed up with their own leaders, that they were almost openly mocking them, which was unthinkable in the 70s and the 80s, the early 80s. There would be no way you would ever see a political protest or any kind of dissension in that country. And anyway, Putin, as long as the faithful don't have massive protests in Moscow and protest, all is well. Of course, if you have a protest in Moscow, you try to do a 200-person rally against the government. The riot police are waiting for you. I mean, they're coming out, and they don't ask you to get in the paddy wagon politely first. They don't even ask. They just start whipping, and you'd be lucky to get into the paddy wagon without having a number of welts on the back of your head. But that's another story, and that's another issue. In any event, the problem is that the economic turmoil against the average Russian is so bad, from the outside, then that'll destabilize his country. And this is a good and bad thing in a way, because the hawks out there who hate anything to do with Russia will go, this is great, let's destabilize these guys and really make them pay. On the other side, you have the long-term thinkers going, yeah, but he's got all these nukes, and you don't want to make him over desperate. You don't want to make him fear like he's about to be toppled, because he might go out in a blaze of glory, and we don't want that. That would be bad. And so you have this delicate balance, and then of course there's the wild card, which is the China wild card. How much support will the Chinese want to give the Russians? regarding economic sanctions. Now, if the West gives, cuts off oil sales to Europe, natural gas sales to Europe, cuts Russia's ability to really export, and makes it difficult for Russia to import goods. In other words, just cutting these guys off because they can't pay in dollars or euros. What will China do to help them out? There's the wild card, and you have a 1.3 billion populated country over there that will buy all Russia's oil and natural gas that they can get them. They'll pick up whatever the Russians don't want to sell to the West. They'll buy it, and they will pay the Russians in dollars. You want dollars? No, no problem. You don't have to take Chinese yuan. We'll give you dollars. The Russians, of course, will will be asked by the Chinese, let's trade goods for goods. I talked about this already. So, Russians will sell oil and China will sell computers, in dollar values or yuan, ruble values, what have you. But that means, of course, what will the G20 do now with China? If China is going to support Russia, which is invading Ukraine and talking the talk that, this is rightfully ours and this is territory that was illegally taken away from us, and we're going to get our heritage back, and yada yada yada. And the Chinese are going, yeah, way to go. We agree, expansion is the way. Well, will the Western countries get their act together and now zoom in on China too and say, are you guys supporting this guy? Then you're not. We're not dealing with you either. Now, you can't cut off China completely; it's impossible. But can you restrict China and make it hurt? Oh yeah, it's already hurting now. China is already wincing from these tariffs that have been in place now since the Trump administration. These haven't gone away. They may have been reduced a little here and there, but they haven't gone away. And the problem with this tariff thing that most people don't get, unfortunately, is that a lot of people think, well, this is good. Oh, yeah, let's nail these Chinese guys with these tariffs, make them pay. Well, they don't pay a dime on tariffs. Tariffs aren't assigned to Chinese importers or exporters. It's not the Chinese that are paying the tariffs. It's Americans. If your country imposes a tariff on imports, adds 10% taxation to the value of the goods coming in, that money goes to the U.S. Treasury from Americans. So the price at Walmart for a spatula, which was 98 cents, is now $1.18. Because it went up 10% on a tariff, and then there's a 10% markup by the retailer on top of his cost. The American consumer is paying way more money, excuse me, for imports from China than they were 5 years ago. And a lot of it is artificial. But it's buried inside the inflation story. You see, there's inflation, so you don't see it as easily as before. But the reality is that anything and everything coming in from China has a buried tax inside it already. And this is why the U.S. Congress and Senate are really not yelling at the top of their lungs that we should increase income taxes to help balance our budget. Because first, the budget isn't going to be balanced, so everyone's written that off. And two, deficit spending is just a matter of course now. And three, with interest rates having been as low as they were, to fund the debt is no big deal. So there's no pressure there immediately to change. But if you can bring in extra money without having to run on it, as a senator and a congressperson, if you can run for re-election and no voter is accusing you of raising taxes, even though there are these import fees associated with everything China, and America is addicted to Chinese stuff, as are Canadians. More product comes from China into North America than goes out. Although I will say Canada has a surplus with China, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Canada does run a surplus with China, or at least used to. In any event, America, it's always been 10 to 1, 8 to 1. Every dollar America sends to China, America buys $8 to $10 from China. So if you nail China with a 10% tariff or a 20% tariff or a 40% tariff, depending on the item, this is a hidden tax. This is a tax on Americans that goes into the U.S. Treasury, and you don't have to bring that tax money in from somewhere else. And that somewhere else could well be something that Americans see that is not so easy to hide. And Then when it comes time to run for re-election, you have to defend how dare you raise taxes on us, you bugger. You said you wouldn't do it, and you actually did it. So under the Trump administration, and now with Biden, it continues. The tariffs are underway. They continue on, and they will not go away. And the Chinese are insisting that these tariffs be eliminated. They have no power to stop the Americans. And so China has imposed tariffs on American goods in retaliation. And Boeing has noticed a lack of sales lately for Boeing aircraft to Chinese airlines. Uh, this is how it's played. This is the game, and the question now is, do we want to get along or not? Well, if China wants to support Russia, which wants to support invading Ukraine, which wants to be Western, more Westernized than Easternized, the G20 have to decide how far are we going to go. And at this point, the Russians are saying we're prepared to take Russian boys and Russian men and women, put them into tanks and other vehicles, and we're prepared to literally walk in and drive in to Ukraine, risking their lives to take this territory. If you think, as an investor, as an observer of this show, if you think that Putin, who's willing to do this, led blood flow from his own people to take out territory in Ukraine, that he will quickly just turn around and go back out after being there a few weeks, think again. He's not giving up an ounce, not an inch of territory once he gets it. You may have noticed that Crimea is still occupied, has been annexed by the Soviets, Russians, and no one did a damn thing about it. The talk was made, all the speeches and everything. No one did a damn thing about it. They've moved into eastern Ukraine already, 20 miles in, during the same time frame with skirmishes. They haven't backed off. They're not going to back off. They're going to take Ukraine out 20 miles at a time, maybe every 5 years. That's maybe their plan. It could be that right now, the first plan right now is that we'll take 20 miles here, 50 miles here, and just start taking another 20% of the territory of Ukraine over, which makes Ukraine basically Kiev and to the west, the rest of what is left of Ukraine. Whatever area they take over of Ukraine will become desolate, and there'll be refugees who will move away. If they're Russian heritage, they'll be more than welcome to go to Russia. If they're not of Russian heritage, they have already left. If you're 10 miles away from the front and you are an adamant, European supporter of Europe's ways, you've left town. You do not want to be a citizen in a little village where the Russians have just passed through and are now 20 miles past you to between you and Kiev, because you now can't get to Kiev anymore. Not good. And all around you, if you're surrounded by any Russian nationalists, you're targeted as an enemy. You're an enemy. You're a spy. You're basically now a spy because you're not one of us. You're obviously one of them, and being one of them, that means you have to go to a re-education center, and we'll hear from you in another lifetime. So that's what ends up happening. And unfortunately, the territory that the Russians have already taken over, and Crimea itself, has become an economic basket case. And it is an absolute desolate. There's no investment going on there. There's no long-term anything going on. There's very little reconstruction going on. It is a disaster. And Putin doesn't have to run for elections there to survive. He doesn't need votes of Russians in Crimea to survive another election. Or he doesn't have to worry about opinion polls, because there are no opinion polls in Russia. Those are illegal. And so when you're a dictator, you dictate, and you do what you do. So at the moment, the West has to decide, well, how serious are we going to be to stop this guy? Are we going to put flesh and blood on the line? Right now, Western powers are very eager to help Ukrainians defend themselves. In other words, we'll give you guns and bullets, and the Germans are sending helmets, and we'll help you with anti-aircraft missile systems, and there you go. You stop the second or third most powerful army on the planet from invading your territory, because we're behind you all the way. What else can we send you? Like, what can we send you? But none of our kids are going over there. There's no one sending children over there that are soldiers. to defend Ukraine. Because what is the upside for the President of the United States, the President of France, the Chancellor of Germany, any leader in Europe? What is their domestic upside to sending their citizenry, their armies, and their divisions into Ukraine to fight the Russians? Tell me the upside. There is zero upside because you're making Vladimir mad. And if Vlad is even more pissed off, he now can start thinking about invading Poland because he knows you're not coming there, and he's coming into Estonia and Lithuania and other countries. You're not going to send troops there. He knows it. He knows that the West doesn't have the guts, or has warned him. Step one more foot into Ukraine, and American troops will be in Ukraine. There will be no American troops in the Ukraine. There are American troops in Poland. Yep, 3,000 of them. Guess how long they can hang out against the Russian army? About an hour. It'll take about an hour to get rid of them. This is a joke. This is a complete, utter farce. It is all talk, no action. And Putin hasn't had to do a thing. He hasn't had to fire a shot to get the attention of the world and start demanding stuff. And the West will give him stuff. They warn him that if you do this, this will happen. But we'll make deals. We'll make deals. We'll talk. We'll be diplomatic about it. The West is not aggressive to the Russians. The West is cowering to the Russians. The Russians are being aggressive to the West. The West is not retaliating, even now. Right now, the West should be saying to the Russians, pull your troops out of that area, at least 100 miles back, or we're going to cut off your natural gas sales, or we're going to cut off the oil sales, or we're going to not allow any Russian commercial jets to fly over any territory other than your own. We're going to put a no-fly zone around Russia. I mean, something serious, but nothing like that's going to be done because you don't want to poke the bear, I guess. They're more afraid of the image of the bear and its potential than what it will really do, because there's ways to really make life miserable for Russia itself. But for Putin and his pals, again, the top 10%, these folks have got gold bars, they have foreign deposits, they have holding companies everywhere. They have long ago set themselves up to be able to survive any kind of an embargo type thing. They have multiple passports. They have the top 10% have figured out ways to get through it. It's the other 90% that will pay. But Putin doesn't give a crap about the other 90%. He needs them as workers to keep the engine running. Yeah, fair enough. But they'll work for food. They'll work for food because that's what he's looking at them like. He looks at them as slaves inside of his country, and he has blatantly not left power for 20 additional years over when he should have retired. So, dictators never leave, and they always stick around. Anyway, that's the story there. Going into the market now, what are we at? 38 minutes to go. We're down 30 points on the Dow. Like I said, it's a nothing burger. We're down 3 on S&P. We're down 17 on NASDAQ. The inkling is the markets will go lower. The reality is the markets want to go higher. Investors want to invest. They want to put money into the markets. They want to put money where they can get the best bang for the buck. The problem is that they have all these issues that they have to worry about. Well, if I put money into this, that could get affected by inflation. If I put money into that could be affected by a higher interest rate. If I put money over to here, that could be affected by the Ukraine thing. So there's this. That's a reluctant investor who needs to invest is reluctant to invest because they don't know where to invest. And so the immediate concern is, can the shares hold values that they have, and where should I go for the best bang for the buck, and what stocks can be the most insulated from a calamity situation. And there you have it. There's the big game going on right now. Oil is up 123 now to 93.30, and so we're watching that. Europe shares have backed off. I will give you an idea here. In Europe, in London, the FTSE 100 is off a fifth of a percentage point. DAX is down 5 points. That's Germany. CAC 40 is the French market, down 1.8. FTSE, I believe, is also another version of UK, I'm not sure. It's down 74. IBEX is down 1. So we're negative on Europe, like not catastrophically negative, but we're negative. We were positive in Asia overnight, nicely, 1.5 to 2% positive. But that is a reaction to the US markets yesterday afternoon when we saw our markets domestically do very well with this thinking of this idea that, oh wow, the Russia thing might be easing off here. Wouldn't that be great? Now, as far as GameStop goes, it's a 125 a share right now, down $1.16, where AMC is up 8 cents, although it had been higher. AMC for a good part of the morning was sitting up around 19.90 a share. It's now 19.55 on 380,000 shares. So AMC seems to be under some pressure right now, which has caused GameStop to drop $1.16 to 125 a share. So one is mirroring the other. The question is who is leading the dance and who isn't. Pre-market trading on GameStop, 6,700 shares. Whoop-de-doo. That means a nothing burger. 300 plus thousand on AMC. So we'll watch that closely as well. Dr. G, here's the average Russian salary, $11,000 a year. Average Ukrainian salary, $3,540, and the U.S. salary, $65,000. Of course, averages are nice, but it isn't averages that these countries are surviving on. It's because the average is including the upper 10%. If you take the 10% off the top for all three countries, top 10% of Ukrainians do very well. And they travel internationally and they have property elsewhere and they can get out of town or may already be out of town. The top 10% of Russians, same thing, very well to do. As lucrative as the top 10% of Americans. Very nice lifestyles, no doubt about it. It's the 90% of the Russians that are left over. They're not doing anything near 11%, 11,000 a year. They're really bad off. And they will be crushed economically instantly the moment that the ruble drops 30, 40, 50% in value. The black market in Russia will just soar, will just go nuts. But guess who controls the black market? The top 10%. They're heavily able to take advantage of that. In any event, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. I am very glad that, number one, I am not a national of either of those two countries. And number two, I'm very glad I don't have any very close friends and relatives that are nationals either. And so it's not in my family to deal with, but it is what it is. I don't know. It's very, very unfortunate. And it's 2022 and we're still, it never ends. We as humankind cannot get along. It's just amazing how we don't get along, and we're on one planet. We can screw this thing up so easily from so many angles, and we just aren't. There are folks who profit in many ways, but there are folks who profit from complete dysfunction because they get what they want out of whatever they're after. And as long as there are divisions between countries and peoples and what have you, there are some in the middle who benefit from divide and conquer. And we have at our disposal as human beings, we have perfected so many things in our world that we could easily take care of and spread to others, but won't. And the term national security sure is a nasty term sometimes. It is such a blanket thing that it covers many sins and prevents a lot of progress, perhaps, in certain parts of the world over a perceived danger that isn't there, unfortunately. But hey, welcome to the world of 2022. It's very similar to the world of 2002, 1982, 1962. A very similar world that we've seen for generations and generations and generations. I love watching the movie Saving Private Ryan. I've enjoyed watching that movie several times. And what I take from it, what I originally took from, because when it came out, I was already in my 50s or 40s, 50s. rather than my 20s. If I were in my 20s and I watched Saving Private Ryan, I would look at it as a glorified video game. Shoot the soldiers on the beach and all that stuff. Where in my 40s, I look at that movie and I think about my father-in-law and the generation of his generation. My father was younger than my father-in-law. My father was 15 when the war ended in 1945. So when the war started in 39, he was 9 years old. So not a participant or a soldier, never was. Where my father-in-law was older than my father. He was 23, 24, 25 when the war was over. I'm trying to remember exactly. And so he was a soldier in the Canadian Army, and he was based in Europe. And he saw a lot of stuff that he didn't want to talk about as an adult. He didn't want to talk about what he witnessed and saw happen to his children and to his grandchildren and to his son-in-law. And then Private Ryan, the movie came out, Saving Private Ryan, and I asked him about the D-Day thing, and I asked him about, you know, the whole picture leading up to that moment in time, and then those months after. And it was interesting talking to him because at that point in his life, he still had about 10 years to go, 12 years to go. He was still with it, totally with it with us. And so he could recall and tell us, stuff. And I would just ask him about his feelings about everything. Like what you as a young man at 23, 24, 25 years old, what were you guys, all you guys over there that went over there? What did you think would happen with the world after the war was over? Like, did you have any, did any of you talk about what you hoped the world would be like after the war was over? And he said to me, no. As a 25-year-old, you don't think about what life's going to be like when you're 45 or 65. When you're 25 years of age, you have very few thoughts. They're mainly immediate. And at that time, being a soldier in the United Kingdom, waiting to go over, you were wondering how much longer you had to live. That's what you were wondering about. You were wondering about if you would ever see your home ever again. You were wondering whether you would be, back in his case, back in Canada on the prairies, worrying about the crop this year as his number one concern. And he realized how fortunate Canadians were and Americans were who were on the mainland over there, nowhere near this crap that was going on here. And he was watching the United Kingdom go completely. The entire country was completely a war machine. And then when he got to Europe, he saw the destruction of what had happened, and then that was what we was going to see for the rest of the campaign until it was all over. And his thought was at that time, I just hope to survive, because he lost friends, he lost associates. A lot of guys around him were wounded, and then many were wounded up here for the rest of their lives with PTSD, which we didn't diagnose as much as we do now, and so on. And my wife says to me, Jennifer, she says to me, yeah, he had nightmares. He always had nightmares. I remember as a child that mom would be up with him in the evenings. 10 years after the war was over, they occasionally would be up together at 2 in the morning, and he just, he'd be sitting up in bed, and she would get him some water, and just, they would just talk, and he just need to calm down. And the war wasn't over. It never ended. And we don't get it. We don't stop. Because unless you're on the front line, you don't know what it's like. And if you're in the ivory tower and you're running the so-called big show, and your ego is as big as the country, you don't care about the guys on the front line. You never will, because you're never one of them. You're never going to be one of them. But a lot of these top guys are damaged already when they get there. They're damaged from whatever else has gotten to them: power, ego, drive, corruption, IOUs that they have to very powerful allies. It's incredible how the average the average individual is just used as a pawn in the big picture of things, and the price that has to be paid for whatever your objective is. Anyway, I I love the movie from several. I love several parts of the movie, many parts of that movie. But it always struck me at the end of the movie when the gentleman, who's now the Matt Damon character, he's now an old man, and he's at the graveyard, and he's looking at all the crosses, and I think it's something that every adult should do. There's certain places you have to go in your lifetime if you can. One, you have to go to Arlington in Washington. You have to go to Arlington, and when you get there, um, put your mute button on and just observe and take it in. Um, the price of freedom is unbelievable. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Oh man, if that isn't powerful, I don't know what is. You have to go if you go to Europe. You have to go to Normandy. You have to go to where the beach landings were. You have to go to where all the grave sites are. Again, just to understand just what was what it cost, because there are 18 and 19 and 20 and 21 and 22 and 24-year old generations of how many people there are were lost that could have made a difference to the modern world of epic proportions. Inventors, business people, educators, fathers, uncles, grandfathers. The price was just unbelievable. And of course, on the German side and the other side, same thing. So much lost, and for what? For what? What was it all about to start with? When you get a strong man who can run amok, they will go until they get stopped. And unfortunately, it gets to the point where now the price to pay to stop them is so high that countries don't want to pay it. And we're getting to that point with Putin. And we might be at that point with China. We may already be at that point. Erdogan in Turkey wants to be the god of everything. And uh, until the people themselves of those countries take matters into their own hands, the discontent will continue. And here we are. Those of us who are pacifists and just want to live our lives and raise our kids and grow our families and give back to our society. It would be great if we could be allowed to do that, but there are outside things going on that just may have to cause countries to do things they don't want to be doing. In any event, I don't want to be a downer, but what can I say? I have to admit, I'm one of the lucky ones. I really am. 66 years of age. I was too young, first of all, to have been drafted for the Vietnam conflict. I was not in the United States as an American anyway, so as a Canadian, I didn't have to worry about it. But even if I was an American young boy, in 1970, I was 15 years old, so I wouldn't have been drafted into the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was in 66, 67, 68, 69, all the way till 74. So thankfully, I wouldn't have been part of that. And beyond that, there hasn't been a draft in North America basically since. And Canada hasn't been drawn into a world conflict that would require Canadian men and women to be drafted in and go. So I've been one of the lucky ones. And my daughter now is 33, 34, and she is quickly growing out of the age where she could be drafted into something national. I mean, you start with the 18-year-olds, which is, you're asking these kids to defend your nation and up, it's amazing. And so I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm a lucky parent. I'm a lucky individual. And my generation around me, same thing, the end of the boomers. And here we are. It's just been an amazing run for so many of us in this planet of ours, and what we've seen happen technologically and scientifically, and my God, the communications and everything. It's incredible. It's just incredible that I sit here in Creston, British Columbia, with a green screen behind me, making you think that I'm in Palm Desert, California, with a Parisian scene at the background. I got you guys fooled like you can't believe. Wow, what technology to be able to do this. It is really really something. My father served in the Canadian Army as a recruit. He volunteered to join the Canadian Army as a non-Canadian. He had immigrated into Canada from West Germany after the war was over. He came into Canada in 1952. It took until 1951, I think it was, or 50, before any German national could come to Canada. There was a 5 year period where no Germans were allowed to immigrate into Canada, and I think into the United States as well. But after 5 years, now you could apply. And so my father applied to come in, and as a they quote checked him out to make sure he wasn't one of those Nazis. And knowing that, looking at the calendar, going, well, at the end of the war, he was 15 years old. Unlikely he was a leader of the German movement. He was allowed in, and Canada, looked at my dad and went, okay, he doesn't speak English. He has very few skills, but you know what? He's hungry. He's fit. He's willing to work, and we need help over here because we have an expanding economy, and we need help all over the place in construction and mining and manufacturing, and it just goes on and on and on. So he ended up as a miner in the nickel mines in Sudbury, Ontario. He ended up there, and used to tell me that a construction worker would make about $60 a week in 1952, 53. Make about $60 a week working construction. That was good money, hard-working job, obviously. But he was making $75 a week as a miner, and he made more money than a construction worker, but you had to go down the pit. Now, he ended up working it out. I think the way he worked it out is that he started off down below, but after a while, he was able to graduate up and not be down below ground. He was above ground in the milling part of it, where all the iron ore, the ore came up, and then that would be processed. And I think he had work up there, just as well paying, but didn't have to go down into the most dangerous area. I think that's what he did. But his a very good friend of his said to him, you play music, don't you? And my dad said, yeah. He says, I was a conductor of the band in Hunmunden in Germany. I had like 12 guys that I was, we do dances and events at. And my dad was playing music on weekends. On Saturday nights, he was playing music at various, dance music at various places, and making money on the side. And his buddy said to him, I don't know why you're a miner. I don't know why you bother working as a miner. You don't need to do this. You can make a really good living if you were in the Canadian Army. And he looked at him and said, what are you talking about? Where are you coming up with a story? And he said, I have a friend of mine who's in the Army. And he tells me how much money he gets. And they pay for all the like the boots and the pants and the shirts and the coats and the hat. You don't pay for any uniforms. Complete health care, of course. The family is on base, free rent. You get to buy everything you need, like booze and cigarettes, and you buy it on base in the canteen, and it's way cheaper than buying at a grocery store because it's in effect profit free, and it is lower taxation. He said he figured out the dough, how much money he gets versus how much he spends. He said, this guy's doing better than I am, he says. And my dad said, well, you're in the mine like I am. He said, yeah, I know. He makes more money than we do. And we're down below making top dollar. And the guy said to my father, you should take a look at joining the Canadian Army as a musician. They're always looking for talented musicians for their marching bands and all that sort of stuff. You're still going to learn how to shoot a gun and all that, but you're really a musician. And there's a big call for that. And so my father looked it up. He checked it. He didn't believe him, so he checked it out. Sure enough, he ended up going for an audition, music audition, and filled out whatever forms, mailed them in, and got a response. Come on down. So he ended up going to a Canadian Army base just south of Sudbury, and had to go to, in effect, meet with quote the captain of the band, the guys who they refer to as the old man. All the boys called this guy the old man. And the old man was the master musician who was in charge of the band. And my father meets him. And by that time, my father had met this guy. My father could speak English now. He was now an English speaker, German speaker. And the old man asked him, "What instruments can you play? What?" Because he was thinking if he could only play the piccolo or only play the clarinet, then there might be an opening, might not. Well, my father just rattles off 5 or 6 instruments. He can play any of these. Then he finds out my father was a conductor, and that he could write music. He could write scores, so he could write the music for all 50 guys in the band. He could like these marching bands were big, so he could write every musical line for every instrument in the entire orchestra, and it would all be coordinated. Quite complicated. He would have been good in software, and so that scored brownie points. So then the captain said, "Well, I have over here. I've got a French horn, a tuba, a trombone, a trumpet. Which one of these would you want to play for me?" He said, "Oh, my dad said, oh, I'll play the French horn." Okay, so he grabs the French horn and warms it up a little bit. And the captain has a music stand in front of my dad and says, "Can you play this song?" And he puts a sheet of music in front of him. And it's Ba Ba Black Sheep. My dad looks at him and says, you want to play this?" He's like, "Yeah, just play that. It'll get harder." And so he plays the first tune. He then puts another tune in, another tune, and it's progressively more difficult until we get to like Mozart and Bach and I don't know what. And my dad's just flying along and just like this is a nothing burger for him. And so the captain has heard enough. I've heard enough. And he was impressed with him, so he said, "You would be welcome in the orchestra. So we have several openings. I will use you as a utility guy. I will use you as you'll fill in here, 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 and whenever we have a shortage, I'll be able to move you. There's several guys like you, and you're really handy." So my dad was accepted into the Canadian Army, and I think it was just after I was born, probably in '56. I was born in '55, and and that's how my dad got in. And so as a non-Canadian, he was still waiting for his papers to become Canadian. He was a member of the Armed Forces of Canada, and as a member of the Army, he got the official papers that he was now a full-blown Canadian citizen as a member of the Canadian Armed Forces. And he knew at that moment in time that he would never have to go back to the to West Germany at the time, which when he left it was they were starving. When he left West Germany, it was they were still trying to recover from the war. Everything had been destroyed. Jobs were available, but they didn't pay very much. Where in Canada, he found that he could keep the fridge full of food all the time on his minor salary and on the army. He was never hungry ever again, and he wanted to get away from hunger forever. And his wife and his children were never hungry for his entire adult life after that. It was a huge difference. Whereas his father and his mother and father, they were always struggling to have food, always for their 3 or 4 children. It was always difficult times, along with all of his friends and relatives and neighbors. Everybody, they were starving, always hungry, always hungry. We had the Depression, then we had the war. Not good. So coming to Canada, the promised land, was really, really something. In any event, I wonder. I look at the Saving Private Ryan from my father-in-law's angle as a soldier in the war, and I look at Saving Private Ryan from my father's angle, who was in effect a refugee after the war was over, because when the war started, he was in Lithuania and then Germany. And then when the war was all over, he was in West Germany, thank God, not East Germany. He was in West Germany and got out. And it's most interesting. So there's 2 different guys completely who ended up meeting each other because Jennifer and I got together. And I always thought it was an interesting meeting of two worlds. That these two gentlemen met each other as when they were in their 50s, because of my Jennifer and I, and they became fast friends. It was quite interesting how these two guys who had totally different backgrounds, totally different lives in their youth, through into their teens, into their 20s. By the time my father was 22, 23, he was in Canada. Of course, my father was back in Canada, and the two of them had two different worlds that they grew up in as 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. But they got married, had kids, worked hard, advanced themselves, and educated themselves quite a bit. They did a lot of studying, a lot of reading, and the two of them got together in later life, just because their kids, one of each of their children, got together, and they became buddies. And in the 40s or 50s, if you would have said to either of them that someday one of your pals is going to be someone from the other side, in other words, the Canadian soldier and the German refugee who's theoretically the enemy, you're going to become pals. They would have wondered, really, that's with all the propaganda out there, can that really be happening? But now when you're in your 50s and you're down the highway a ways, and these two gentlemen now are beginning to suffer little health issues here and there, just little, because as you age out, and they could compare notes, and they had way more in common than they had apart, and they both were able to understand each other's thinking as 20 and 30 and 40-year-olds now in their 50s. It was really fascinating for me to be on the sidelines to watch this, and then to talk to my father-in-law one day, talk to my dad another day, and just to get the vibe from each one of them was kind of cool to learn that and hear that. But anyway, I digress. It would be nice if we could just all get along. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just all get along? In any event, folks, I hope you're doing okay. And I hope you don't mind my ranting and raving and all that sort of stuff and my memory lane stuff. While I have been trying to calm the world down, we are down 153 points on the Dow. So we have now decidedly moved into a negative vibe. It's 0.43 of 1%. It's not like the end of the world, but we are moving negative. S&P is off 22 points. It's about half a percentage point, and the NASDAQ is off 99.5 points, and that is 0.7%. So again, the NASDAQ is leading the way lower. High growth, high beta stocks, PE multiple stocks of higher nature, they're the ones taking the biggest hit. Gamestop right now, I show it at 124 a share, 124.50. It's jumping about here a little bit. Looks like it's down about $2 going into the open, which is 8 minutes from now. Other stocks that we are following, Rocket Lab is unchanged at 10.16 with a gain yesterday of 68 cents. SoFi was up 57 cents yesterday to 12.58, now trading at 12.51, down 8 pennies. As I say, GameStop 123.90 right now. We're going to jump around quite a bit. 124.50 now on GameStop. We just jumped up again. So very difficult to put a pin on that stock. I will say this about GameStop. From 122 to 124.50, whatever it wants to do, the volume this morning is 12,600 shares. So it's a nothing burger on commitment. There's no serious volume here. Matterport it was yesterday, closed at 8.39 with a 71-cent gain yesterday. At the moment, we're at 8.21, down 18 cents. 23andMe closed yesterday at 4.71, up 22 cents. It is now down 6 cents to 4.65. Spire Global closed at 3.04. It didn't look like it changed at all yesterday, and at the moment it's not trading in the pre-market. I have nothing new there. ATI Physical Therapy was up 21 yesterday to 291, and at the moment it looks like we're at 289 from last night's trading, or is that this morning? This morning's trading 289, down 2 pennies. SmartRent has not changed this morning. It's not traded at all. It closed at 8.94 yesterday, up 24 cents. And Sextera, I have no trades this morning, but it did close yesterday up 38 cents to 11.66. So Cyxtera had a good day yesterday. Apple this morning is off 72 cents to 172.07. It gained 391 yesterday, off 72 cents. Goldman Sachs was up 370 yesterday to 363.94. It's down 205 right now at 361.89. We're down to, what are we now? Down 6 minutes before we open. Cisco had a good day yesterday, up $1.09 to 54.27. We're now sitting at 54.20, down 7 cents. Tesla was up $46.67, closing at 922.43. We're at 914.25, down $8, 8.18. Peloton yesterday gained 42 cents to 33.25. Right now it's off 35 cents at 32.90 on the pre-market. And ARC Innovation, which is the Cathie Wood ETF, that is one of the big ones to follow. It was yesterday at 75.28. It's now 73.80, down 148 on this morning's pre-market. So we have red here, more or less. We're going to follow that. Jason, thank you, Jason Parrish, for PayPal donations. Thank you very much. You probably heard the ding right there. PayPal donations all gratefully accepted. Thank you. We're watching for, like I say, the opening, the vibe here. AMC is down 11 cents to 1937. It's traded 681,000. This will affect, obviously, GameStop, which at this second is showing 123.30, down 286. Now it's showing 124.50. I mean, it'll move $1 in a 100 share swing in the pre-market. It's really thin. 13,400 traded on GameStop. 681,000 on AMC. The market, the Dow off 139, S&P down 21, NASDAQ off 92. Oil up $1.22 to 93.39. Just moved up a dime, 132 for a barrel of oil. It is steadily moving higher for the last 3-4 hours. It has been steadily going higher. That's bad news. Definitely bad news. And so we'll see what's going on. U.S. industrial production and capacity utilization rose in January, headline says. And so, okay, we'll take that. Retail sales jumped 3.8% in January, headline. These numbers are not helping the Dow. That's the issue there. As far as interest rates go, over on the 10-year U.S. Treasury, it's at 2.02%. And it was as high as 2.05 earlier this morning. And now it's backed off a little bit and just drifting around. But we're not anywhere near the 1.9% we were at last week at the height of the Ukraine concerns that were going on at the time. Just kind of give you that overall vibe. Oil, though, will tell us everything. I think oil is the barometer. It is the tell-all about just what the world is thinking about. Because if Russia does make a move and the West cuts off the ability for the Russians to sell their oil, which the Russians would perceive as a provocation, that will move oil even higher. And so there you go. We're going to have to watch. We'll watch for that, of course, as we always do. There you have it. Again, thank you, all of you, for being here this morning with me. Appreciate it. Great to see you here, and hope you had a pleasant evening. You have a good day today. Hope some of you will make some money today. I think today's the kind of day where you can sell into strength without too much fear. I think that options can be written on stock because I just don't think stocks are going to be able to go up 800 points today on the Dow. I just don't think so. Too many concerns. I think the time shrinkage on options are absolutely at their best conditions you could possibly want. You should be able to, you theoretically should be able to write out of the money call options on some stocks and watch them depreciate as time evaporates. That's the secret to this game, and I think that can continue for a while yet. I think there's definite potential here to score time depreciation on options contracts. And if you want to learn how to do that, just head to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. Head over there, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. What a great address that is. Head over there and you'll see a tab that says, right over here somewhere, say classes. Click on that. There are 11 classes there that I've put together with a majority of the class members were viewers of this channel. I did 11 approximate 2 hour long classes that you can get your hands on over there. Learn all about how to write options, make an investment in yourself, and learn how it's done, and become an option writer against stock you're sitting on anyway. So many of you have earned shares over the years working for employers, that public companies, and you've got hundreds of shares, thousands of shares of companies that you've had forever, and you're waiting for them to do something. And you're not getting any money for it. You're not getting paid to hold these things. And if you write options against your stock, even way out of the money, heck, if you can bring in 50 cents a share a month on a couple of thousand shares that you've been sitting on forever, that's $1,000 a month in money. That's just going to be handed to you for nothing. I don't know what's wrong with an extra $1,000 a month. Some of you out there have realized, shockingly, you realized, oh my God, I've got 5,000 shares of this company I've had forever. I never look at it. If I can bring in 50 cents a month on 5,000 shares, that's $2,500 a month. That's $30,000 a year I can bring in on income, offering these covered calls to these gamblers. And it's way out of the money. I mean, you're never going to exercise me. $2,500 a month, I think that'll add nicely to my pension. Thank you very much. That might actually get me retired now, because this extra $2,500 coming in, I'll work part-time now instead of full-time, doing what I really want to be doing. And I want to get out of this meat grinder pressure cooker that I'm into. And this is the first $2,500 towards my retirement. And then I'll work part-time and I'll make another $2,000 a month over here. It's $4,500 a month, and I'm not in a pressure cooker anymore. I'm interested. I am interested. As I say, that's just a small return. Some of you are bringing in $1.50 a month on some of your shares that you own, and you bring in $1.50 a month on 5,000 shares. That's 5,000 to 7,500 a month of income, 60 to 75,000 a year from your portfolio. Hello, a number of you, of course, have figured out. With the real estate market, you folks are shocked. You're constantly telling me how shocked you are as to the value of your homes, how they've skyrocketed in value. You're hearing now horror stories of people getting $500 a month, $1,000 a month rent increases, notifications. Real estate is running, and there are opportunities out there to score some nice gains. And some folks are taking home equity loans and acquiring stock to write options against, to bring in a secondary income and retire early. And you're hiring me for a 1 hour session to talk about that, which I welcome if you're interested. Thank you for joining me. We're open. Larry Titus has handed us the golden keys to get going. The bells have rung. And Dr. G says, Larry, your demand. We're up and going, baby. Nick is saying, Bruce, I am thumbs up number 202 for you. Good morning to you. Good morning, Nick, and thank you for being here. Everybody who's here, what's going to happen? Well, let's find out. Let's see what life is all about here in the big city, and power up the quotes and just see where our shares are at and what's going on. I'm showing the Dow off 68 points right now. Nothing dramatic. We were off 150 a little while ago. We'll see what it really wants to do. I've got S&P off 16 points, and I've got NASDAQ down 117. The NASDAQ is down 0.83 of 1%. And S&P showing down 0.38, and the Dow at the moment down 0.20. But these are a little too early to count on. We have to give this another couple of minutes to sort of let everything open up. I've got Rocket Lab down 13 cents to 10.03 to start the day. SoFi is up 34 cents, 12.92. I like that. Love to see this go through 13 like a nothing burger. That'd be great. 3.4 million traded on SoFi. $12.95 right now, up 37 cents. I've got GameStop at $126.69, up 53 cents. I've got AMC showing $19.77, up 29 cents. Matterport at $8.04, down 35. I have 23andMe at $1.57 a share, down 14. Spire is at $2.94, down a dime. ATIP at $2.80, down 11 cents. Smart Rent, $8.88, down 7. And Cyxtera, $11.52 a share, down 14 cents. Robinhood is down 9 cents. Vanek Vector's a $14 gainer yesterday, off $3 at the moment. A little profit taken there. Home Depot down $1.59. IBM is up 2 cents. Microsoft down $2.35 to $297.50. This $300 level has kind of become a barrier for Microsoft, kind of like a hangout zone, I suppose, for the moment. But stocks do that from time to time. Apple down $1.45, 171.34. Goldman down $1.61 to 262. Cisco down a penny at 54.26. Facebook down $5.95, $6. Facebook down $6 to 214.94. Amazon is off $19 to 3,111. Tesla down $8.14 to 914. Google down $9 to 27.19. Bed Bath Beyond down a penny. BlackBerry down 8. Royal Caribbean up $1, 87.28. Ridiculous. Target up 30 cents. JP Morgan up a dime. Costco down 3.50. Walmart up 3 cents. Nvidia down 3.71. American Airlines down 2 cents. Netflix down $9. Moderna down 4.48 to 146.64. Those are our early morning quotes right now as we are watching the Dow down now 101 points at the moment. That's the low of the morning. S&P up 17.5. NASDAQ down 124. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our markets for Wednesday, February the 16th, the only February 16th of 2022 and for our lifetimes. The next February 16th will be 2023. So enjoy this one because you're not getting another one for another year. Thanks for joining me. Rocket Lab, $9.95 now, down 21 cents. And SoFi at $13.08. It has just busted out of $13. $13.08 up 51 cents. And AMC holding a 7-cent gain at $19.55. GameStop has gone red, down 72 cents to $125.44. Anyway, there it is. Let's see. Alberto is questioning, every time I attempt to write more than 50 covered calls on American Airlines, they never fill. If I adjust and drop to 30 or lower, they fill. Is this because I'm not a hedge fund or other reason? Uncle Alberto, your Uncle Bruce says, here's my guess as to what's going on. Okay. Now, I don't know whether you're trying to sell contracts by hitting the bid that you see. I'm going to assume that what you're trying to do is sell contracts, quote, into the market. And if you see a market, let's say 35 cents to 40 cents or 35 to 37, you're just offering, you're selling at 35 and you're not getting a fill. It could be that who you are selling to could be what we call the market maker. The market maker. Now, who and what the hell is that? The market maker is a brokerage firm that has a seat on the options exchange that is a specialist on American Airlines options. And the market maker guarantees a fill of a certain number of contracts every time you hit the bid as part of the agreement to hold the market making seat on the exchange or to be the specialist. And it's possible that what you're trying to do is you're coming in with 50 and the market maker is good for 30. And it might well be that the market maker will either only acquire 30 at a time and then back off a penny or two and take another 30 there. And you're coming in and hitting them. You're a market seller. That's probably what it is. Or you're a limit seller. You're coming in at limit. Now, theoretically, if you were to offer the options for 2 or 3 pennies higher, let's say the market is 35 to 40, and you're trying to sell at 39 as a stink offer, you might sell options 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 at a time all day long until you get rid of 50. That could be the plan. But then you'd get a higher price per contract, but you have to wait longer to get it. On the other side of the coin, when you want out, you want to buy back your calls. The same can be said that when you try to buy 50, sometimes you get all 50 in one shot, sometimes you don't. Again, depends how much is available at an offer that you're going after, perhaps. And that can be, part of the equation there. Uh, Once you get into 50, 100 calls, 200 calls, for those of you who don't know, you're a larger player. You're not gigantic, but you're a larger player in the options market. Most gamblers buy between 5 and 20 contracts when they play options markets. It depends how much expensive these things are. Obviously, if they're 50-cent contracts, they're $50 each. There are people who will buy 10, 20 at a time, no problem. It's $500,000. They're throwing that around like nothing. There are others who have the kind of money that they can buy $10,000 contracts. They have that kind of money. That's another league, but they exist. Market makers are trying to keep a reasonable bid-ask spread on large cap companies all the time. And American Airlines is a large cap company with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of shareholders. And so a lot of option players play the airline stocks on options, and Alberto is one of them. And so there you go. Thank you, buddy, for this. I appreciate that. It is what it is. There's some days it's easy to sell and buy because it's an active market. Some days it's not. Credits average of SoFi past 13 like a hot knife through soft butter. You got it, buddy. Zzz is what we call that. Interesting stuff, right? Why is SoFi going higher? Austin wants to know. Austin, that's because the world knows that you benefit dramatically when this thing goes up, and the world has gotten together to say, you know what? It's time for Austin to get his due, because this guy has been paying the price, sleeping on the couch in the doghouse for months. It's time to reward him for his loyalty to this deal. Let's move this baby. Or there are more buyers than sellers. I'm not sure which way it's going, my friend, but right now there seem to be more buyers than sellers. We are at $12.98 right now. We're up 40 cents. We've had 9.8 million trade in 11 minutes, and I love it. Now at 13.02 again. Go SoFi, go. We all know it's a $25, $30 company. We know that. But there are only 533 of us here. And so we are the elites. We are the sophisticates. Welcome to the the high-end show, and where we make the high-end dough. Austin, got your contribution. We're on for the one-on-one. We're on, baby. It's gonna happen. Exciting stuff. Is there a SoFi squeeze? Franz wants to know. I hope so. I'm not counting on one. Just expect the stock to go higher because this company is great. Kent, do I roll my GameStop 102s for Friday yet, or do I wait? Yeah, you wait. You do nothing. You do nothing. Now I'm going to put in a little but on top of that. Okay, Kent? Here's something you want to keep an eye on. All right, I want you to do not look away from the ball. Here's what I want you to look for. All right. You're sitting on 102 calls that expire on Friday. All right. The stock's at 125. We all know you're $23 in the money. Got it. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to keep your eye on contracts that expire next Friday and the Friday after that. All right. What I want you to think about is I want you to take a look at contracts that are at a higher strike price than your 102s. All right. So take a look at 105s, 106s, 7, 8s, 9, all the way up to 110 at least. And take a look and see if it is possible where if you buy back your call for as low as you can get it, all right, that might be a stink bid, and you can sell a new call that is a week out, 2 weeks out, maybe 3 weeks out, for as high a strike price as you can get. In other words, I want you to think about if you're going to do a rollover, it's going to work for you in such a way that you go from a 102 strike price, exercise price at 102, up to 105 or 110 or 112 or 150. Can you go a week or 2 or 3 out not months, but just a few weeks, to bring yourself closer to the market. Because if you did, let's say you were able to go 2 weeks out and write a 110, I'm just going to throw a generic number. You can write a 110 contract for as much as it costs you to buy this contract back, the 102. You're in effect getting $8 more of exercise price. You're that much closer to the market, and you're bringing in just as much cash, which means you're looking for, depreciate just as much. That brings you closer without any cost to you. It's a flip. It's a rollover, right? You'll buy the one and then you'll write the other. Okay. If you do go out 4 or 5 or 6 weeks, you definitely want to be much closer to 115, 120. You want to be within striking distance of a one day striking prices, 1 day striking range of being out of the money. In other words, if you can write 120s and the stock drops $6-7 from here and goes to 118, you're already out of the money and you're in a happy zone, because you know that all the value of that contract is premium only, and it is going to, as each day goes by, come up. Give up, it's ground. But if you're going to write a 6-week contract, that's a longer term commitment. If you can do something for next Friday, the Friday after, only the next couple of weeks, you're still in this, you're in the game for short term shrinkage. If the shares do back off to 120, 118, and you've written into a 110 contract, you are way closer in now. And it might be that next week, Friday, or between now and next week, maybe next Wednesday, Thursday, you might take your 110 contract and buy it back to write a new 115 contract for the next Friday. You're rolling over every week, but you're rolling up every week, $5 a share on the exercise price. Keep an eye on the option chain for this kind of strategy. So this is a rollover, but it is not an instantaneous, I'm writing 130s and I'm going to get just a big fat premium on that, but I have to go out 6 months to get it. I'd rather you stay close in. We all know what can happen with GameStop. It can go up and down $15 in an hour at any time. So keep an eye open on premiums. And as I say, you might be able to get from a 102 to a 107 level, a 18, 110 level for 1 or 2 weeks out, something like that. But saying to yourself, yeah, I've written a contract for 2 weeks. Yeah. But you know what? Between now and a week from now, I'm probably going to roll it again, and I'll go higher yet. Sooner or later, the shares will have a dip. And when that dip comes, and I'm sitting on 115 contracts, and the stock goes to 108, bingo, I got my payoff. I may have done a rollover or two to get there, but they didn't cost me any money because I paid X amount for this call to buy it back. I sold this call for X amount, which is equal or better, and it's not costing me money. I'm just giving time. In the meantime, the good news is the shares used to be 102, 100 a share, 80, 97 a share. They're now 126 a share. I'm richer on my stock. Now I'm going to roll my options forward with the clock as my ally to roll up. So Kent, keep an eye on that. So I don't want to say do not do a rollover today, but if you can do one at any time that gives you this kind of a benefit, where all you have to give up is an extra week's time or 2 weeks of time or 3 weeks of time, and you can move your exercise price up to be much closer to the 126.7 range we're at now, more power to you. Now, look, the stock now is 127 right now as I'm speaking. It's just gone up a couple of bucks. This is a good thing, actually, because the contract you have that you've written at 102 is probably trading at pure book value. That's all it's trading for. And you put in a stink bid at barely book value, you'll probably get it, because anyone who wants out has to sell to the best buyer. You might be the highest bidder at $25 a contract. It's worth $25 right now, book value. You might be able to put in a $25 bid and get it, no time premium whatsoever. On the converse side, if you can write a 108 or a 110 and get 25 for it, that it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks out, nice going. because you're getting a premium on top of the book value, right? You're writing an in the money call, but you're getting the book value plus $8 time premium, which is your reward for the next 2 weeks that you let this happen. Unless, and that's just assuming the stock stays here. It goes down to 118. Anytime it wants to go to 118, anytime, it will trade lower, obviously. And you may or may not buy it back and roll again into the next one. That allows you to keep your capital gain on your stock in your pocket and reduce your cost of contracts, keeping you closer to the game. I hope all of that makes sense to all of you who are here with me right now. Thank you. Joe says SoFi had a massive beat last night. SoFi likely trading in sympathy this AM. 1294 is where we're at right now on SoFi. 127.49 up 133 on GameStop. AMC up 36 cents. 1984. The Dow's down 88 points. S&P down 20. NASDAQ down 157 right now as we watch things chip along here. Mirko, we have been here a while. Not everything that moves is a squeeze. Carol, Franz, that will be nice, especially on my calls that expire this Friday. Joe, sorry, UPST had the beat. Got it. Where am I now? Where am I? Hold on. Where am I? Here we are. We are the intellectuals, says Dr. G. You know that we are the intellectuals. Beach Boy says, Austin, he's out of the doghouse. He's out of the, welcome Beach Boy. 10 million volume in 12 minutes. Pretty good. Mr. Doctor, I wouldn't worry about being exercised unless we were like me and had 65s for GameStop this Friday. Oh, okay. David N., I agree with Joe. This is probably tied to UPST. Will, Uncle Bruce, if you were one of these big hedge funds, who have run the short interest on SoFi up to 20%, would you be looking to get out of all these shorts before earnings? Will, it all depends on the game plan that these guys, how they're playing this thing. It could be that they could be short stock. They could be short stock, declared. They could be short stock through derivative trading. They could be long on options and short stock as a hedge. I mean, there's all kinds of combinations they could be playing. I don't know, but I was speculating yesterday. I was trying to explain yesterday why on earth would anyone sell SoFi down here at all? Like right now we're at 1283. I mean, why would you sell stock now at 1283 when a minute ago it was trading at 1302? Why would you be doing this when it was just going through $13? Don't you know how to trade stock? I mean, you don't sell stock into a down market. You pull back your sales, let the market pop up, and then you feed it out. But it might be being hammered down by short sellers, and Will could be right on it, that there might be people with short positions who are now going to hit the stock as it pops up to try to drive it back down. I don't know why hedge funds would be this stupid to be this heavily shorted at these low levels. I don't know, except for the fact that, as I mentioned yesterday, I read an article to you yesterday that came out from our friends at the Wall Street Journal. And it talked about how certain firms are being investigated by the SEC and the Justice Department for the possibility of shenaniganism, that's my word, where heads ups have been given regarding the possibility of block sale trades, where bunches of stock are coming into the market and are going to be put into the street, and that could affect the stock's downward trajectory. Now, it's possible. Again, I'm just speculating here, but it is possible that there are hedge funds out there who have deep connections into brokerage firms, personal friends and relatives and family members. There are, like I said, there could be, let's just say it this way. There could be a friend. I'll do it another way. There could be a guy or a girl who knows somebody, a guy or a girl, that works at a brokerage firm. And that guy or girl that works at a brokerage firm knows that a certain shareholder of SoFi is in need of offloading 10 million shares. We don't know who that is. That could be a hedge fund. That could be a SoFi employee. That could be a SoFi insider. That could be a SoFi shareholder. That could be an institution. That could be a pipe financing entity that now has free trading stock, and they have indicated they want to liquidate. Somehow, someone within a firm got wind that a block of stock is coming. Okay. This individual has a coffee with another individual and mentions this. And that individual has a coffee later in the day with another individual that happens to work with a hedge fund group. And that individual takes that information to people inside the organization and says, little birdie told me that there's strong indication that there might be a bunch of stock coming up for sale on SoFi. And we'll list the reasons why this might be happening and under what circumstances and blah, blah, blah. Well, it could well be that that management of said company will say, this is, we've heard rumors to this effect elsewhere. We've heard this. You're not the only one telling us this. We're getting this from several sources. And we think that there's more downside than upside. And so what's going to happen? They're selling stock into the market. They see buying coming in, and they're giving the buyer stock. And they're dropping the price from the 15 range we had a little while ago, $16 range, all the way down to here. And they're keeping it here. And they're waiting for the block seller, this big seller, to come out. And there's a big seller who wants out of a lot of stock, but they're not willing to sell it here because it's at $12.84 and they want to get 15, 17, and 20 for it. And there's interests on the other side who've been able to get their hands on this info that there might be this one seller, there might be 5, there might be 15 of these guys. I don't know. There might be 100 million shares of SoFi available for purchase because of free trading restrictions coming through, restrictions going away and more free trading stock coming out. And these people paid $10 a share to buy the stock on the PIPE financing when the SPAC was acquired by SoFi. And the hedge fund guys are going, you can make $2.80 a share on your stock because we're going to keep it down here. And we're not going to let it go to $15 a share because we know you want out, along with a bunch of other you guys. In other words, it's divide and conquer. It's the battle of the megas, and there are mega dollars holding it down to force these guys out down here, and they'll buy these big hedge funds. They'll buy up all the stock you want to sell at $12.50, all you want to offer. That could be it. I could be completely off my rocker on this one, but I have seen this game play out to, for 50,000 share blocks, to 5 million share blocks, to 50 million share. I've heard and seen it for years and years and years, and that might be part of what's going on here. The innocents, the regular shareholders, the retail shareholders, they as a group actually are the power group, but unfortunately, there does not seem to be enough interest in buying up SoFi stock to run the market to $20. And it could be that what is needed is 1 billion shares of buying interest to overwhelm the shenaniganers, the shenanigonians. 1 billion shares of buying power has to come into SoFi over a week. 200 million shares a day has to come into this stock to blow these bastards out of the water. That's as kind as I can say it on a PG-rated channel. And we aren't seeing that. We're seeing 40, 50, 60 million shares a day trade, not 200 million a day, every single day, nonstop. And that's because this stock is not the meme stock of choice for the majority of the market players. with 496 people watching me and hearing what I'm saying, there might be 300 of you going, I can see that as it making sense. Now, if I had 49,600 people watching me right now instead of 496, there might be 300,000 of you who are going to go, out of the 500,000 watching, 300,000 of you might go, you know what? I'm going to buy this thing. I'm going to buy this stock up. I'm going to buy, 10,000 shares. And if 300,000 people want to buy 10,000 shares, away we go with a run on the market. Well, I don't have that kind of an audience. That doesn't happen. I don't have that kind of sway. But that's what's possibly needed on SoFi. SoFi needs a cheerleader of epic size to say, enough's enough. We have to buy this thing up. We have to score up every single stock that's under $13.50 a share and just buy it, or under $15 and just buy it. That will force the hand of all the shenanigans out there. That'll blow them out of the water. That'll scare them into turning them into buyers. They will now want to cover. And the block traders will go, hey, we're not selling. This kind of volume coming in, we're happy to wait this out. Because if it's a moving market, we don't ever sell. We don't sell into a strong market. We sell when we don't think there's a strong market. And right now, the stock's at 12.73 as I am talking to you, dropping another dime as I'm telling you what the possibilities are. And we've traded 14.9 million shares. Why would a stock in 30 minutes trade 14.9 million shares and go from a high of 13.28 to 12, right now 12.84? Makes no sense. The only way it's doing this is because it's being slammed down. It is being hit by organized sellers with deep pockets who are fearless. They don't fear a 12.83 price. They're not even worried about it. And they're prepared to short the stock. If that's what they're doing, they're prepared to short it. Or what they've done is there are hedge funds out there who are sitting on millions of shares, millions of them, through these pipe financing deals. And they're sitting there going, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sell this stuff all the way down to $10 a share. We're going to drive this market. We're going to offer stock, all the way down to $10 a share. Why? Because we think we can buy it for 7 to 8 on the way back. That's when we'll buy it back, because they think they can crush the market. Until the retail investors go, screw you bastards, that's not going to happen. We're going to buy up all this stock that you have and more. And it's going to 15 to 16. It's not going to 10. And then you guys want to get back in. You can pay 17 to 20 to get back in, because we're going to keep chasing it to 25 because we believe this company can go to 35. Well, there will be hedge funds who will go long. There'll be hedge funds that will go short. And until there are more buyers and sellers in dollars, this game will continue. And this is what we have. We're at 12.88 right now. We're up 30 cents. So it looks great if you just came into the show and going, hey, Bruce, how's my SoFi doing? Oh, we're up 30 cents. This is great. Well, yeah, it's great, except that we were at 13.28 20 minutes ago. And now we're at 12.90, and we've traded 15.5 million shares. We obviously are running into some kind of a wall of selling that is millions of shares. I mean, 15 million, right? What's the volume now? 15 million shares. 15 million shares of selling has come in. Now, maybe 5 million of this, 10 million is just turnover, day traders flipping. That means 10 million shares of legitimate buying and selling is going on. 10 million shares are for sale this morning on an up day on this stock when the Dow is off 195 right now. You tell me why would anyone want to sell into a rising market when the Dow is this crappy, down 202 points now? Why would the street want to dump this thing? No, and it's not the street, because it isn't the street. That's the point. It is not the average retail investor getting out of SoFi. Average retail investors don't bring in 10 million shares of selling in 33 minutes. They sell all day long, 10 million shares, not in 33 minutes. There is an orchestrated attacker coming in here who is dumping SoFi stock. That's how I read it as an old desk trader. That's what I see from here. But you try to get a confirmation somewhere, I can't do it. Look at GameStop, $130 right now. Any of you who have written 102s, 105s, 110s, 115s. I want you to look at the option chains. Don't stop looking at the option chains. If you have options expiring this Friday, next Friday, the Friday after that, I want you to keep your eye on the options chains. Because what I want you to start to think about is the fact that you've written $105 calls, 102s, 100s, 95s. You're in the money, way in the money right now. Your stock's up, that's great, but your contract is up. Your contracts are likely trading at book value and maybe even below book value. Some of you might have noticed that some of your options are trading below book value because the sellers of those contracts want to cash out. They want to make their money and move on. You need to take a look at other contracts at a higher strike price for next week Friday, not this Friday, but next week or the week after or the week after. And I want you to start to look at the possibility of doing rollovers from 95, 100, 105 up to the 110, 15, 20 neighborhood. I want you to take a look at whether or not you can write a call option that has 2 weeks more to live than the one you got, or 3 weeks more than the one you've got, that will allow you to move forward on your strike price. So you can go from 95 to 110 or 100 to 108 or 112 or 115 or 105 to 115 or 118 or 108 to 120. I want you to look to see if you can move up $5, $7, $8, $9, $10 on your strike price or more, depending on how far forward you want to write. The stock now is $129.26, up $3.10. AMC is at $20.05. That's probably why GameStop is moving up. You may find that there are options that you can write that'll bring in a fat premium for you. They'll bring in the book value that they have, plus up to a $10 premium on top of that for the call you're buying back right now. So open your options chains and take a look. We're at $129.99 on GameStop. Always be looking and always look to write your next contract. Don't worry about writing a contract that has 3 weeks to live and it's still in the money. Don't worry about it. Because the higher the shares go now to the 130 level, 132 level, the more likelihood is they could drop $15 or $20 on a pullback. So if you've written into 110s, 112s, 115s, you're still 15 in the money, fear not, my friend, because the contract, the stock could pop, putting you at the money. And that contract you wrote that was you sold for $27, $29, $30, if you were able to get that kind of money for it, now is worth nothing. It is all premium only, and it's only got 2.5 weeks to live. You could still do this and go, I don't care. Look, Bruce, hey, man, I wrote a 115 contract. I got a big fat premium for this thing on top of the book value. The stock only goes down to 120. I still win because when I sold it, when I wrote it, I got $28 for a contract that was whatever in the money. I got $10 premium. I'm going to get that $10 premium, and when I roll it forward again, thank you very much. I'm just scoring these deals. In the meantime, I own the stock, and I was going to be exercised at 105 or $98 a share, or 105 a share, 110. Now I can't be exercised unless it's 115 or 120. And next week I can't be exercised unless I get out at 125 or 130. I'm getting richer as this thing goes up, and I'm rolling my contracts forward at no cost to me. All I'm doing is giving time. I have time. This is what I got. I have time. Time I got. Stock I got. Premiums I want. So keep an eye on that. Let me know how you do. If any of you are able to do rollovers today, let me know how those are going for you, okay? Thank you for being here. Who else is here? Let's go. Folks talk to each other, which is great. I'm way behind on comments, of course, because I'm yapping away. Let's go. Excuse me. I've got thumbs up numbers 242, 244. Thank you, Malo and Nicholas. Let's see. Let's move on. Let's see. Shenanigans. Shenaniganders. Yeah, that's another good one. Shenaniganders. I like that. Let's see, where are we at now? SoFi, $12.95, up 37 cents. Amazing. Um, and yeah, Uncle Bruce, we had a 900 million shares trade a few weeks ago. Remember, stock went up 50 cents. That's right. We need another billion. We need another 2 billion shares traded. This has to keep coming and keep coming. There's not enough money to shake them out yet. I agree. We're down 207 on the Dow, 30 points on S&P. We're down 164 on NASDAQ. GameStop 129.80, up 364. The high on GameStop today has been, hang on a second, the high on GameStop today has been 130.75. We're at 129.80. And AMC at 2011, up 60 cents. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm having all kinds of fun here, talking about the old days, and trying to
Are
do
you
it all.
being a grumpy old man?
No,
again? Oh,
not. I don't know. Am I being grumpy today? I don't know. I don't know if I'm being grumpy today.
I'm watching hockey.
You're watching.
So let's move it along.
So who you watching play?
I'm watching Canada play Sweden.
In the men's?
Yes.
And if the boys win,
they will go to a final against
for the gold.
Finland.
Yeah, because the Americans lost yesterday.
To Finland.
No, Slovakia.
Slovakia.
Yeah,
That's right, Slovakia.
The American men lost to Slovakia in a penalty shot.
And I guess the 3-on-3, the 10-minute overtime is a frenzy because it's such a big ice. Oh, yeah. And you only have 3 players on each team. Like every time anybody touches it, it's a goal.
Wide open.
Yeah. And they survived for 10 minutes.
Was that sudden death 3-on-3?
Yeah.
And they couldn't score.
No. And so then they go to a shootout.
Wow. Just wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
craziness.
So now the men are playing. How's the game going? Is it?
We're in between second and third.
And score?
Nothing.
No score after 2.
No
my gosh. Wow, that's something. I think the Canadian are.
We have a lot of soccer plays going on where it's like, oh no.
The dives.
Oh yeah, both teams.
The dives.
Teams. You got to. What is it? The Billy Barber School of Hockey.
The Billy Barber School of Hockey.
You got to slam your stick on the ice to get the ref to see it.
You got to go. Oh, yeah. You got to do that to get the referee's attention. You think soccer players know how to do that?
Where do you think they learned it? Yeah.
Funny.
And right now, the Canadian women's curling. I tell you, whoever writes the sports for the local guys needs to write everything down because he comes on and says they're going into the final end and it's tied. I really need to know who has the hammer. You must tell me that. And I'm desperately trying to find it and no one's televising it.
Unbelievable.
So it's like, I'm just waiting for that end to be over. And
I'm here.
And it'll record it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How little they know. Unbelievable.
I know. Or it was in there and, they just didn't read it or something. I don't know.
Crazy.
Your GameStop is up 130.
130.
Well, I shouldn't say yours. The world's. It belongs to everyone.
Belongs to us all.
Belongs to us all.
Been talking this morning about rollovers on GameStop.
Yes. Right. Are we going to be holding on to this is the question, right?
I've been telling my flock that GameStop can be rolled over. If you have a $100 contract that's $30 in the money that expires this Friday, you look at the option chain and you can buy your contract back at 30 and you can write a 110 that expires next week or the week after for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
I'd roll into the 110s. You're still in the money $20, but it's $20 in the money plus $10 premium. Mm-hmm. And if in the next week or so, as the week goes by, if the shares want to go to 135, let it go. You'll buy back these 110s. They will eventually trade at 25 a piece because they'll trade at book value. You'll buy those back and right now 120s for 2 weeks further out again. And you will move up your strike price. You will not pay any additional money to do these rollovers. Mm-hmm. And as you raise your strike price and the shares want to rise, you're getting richer on capital gain on your stock.
That nothing goes straight up.
And eventually there will be a pullback. There will be a dip. There'll be a profit. There will be something. and it might be from 130 to 110 or 135 to 115 or 145
Right.
to 120. Well, you're rolling up, rolling up, rolling up. You're going to keep doing this. And even if there is a dip, there's a dip, and you can't get out of your contract with a profit yet. You can do a rollover there,
Right.
in theory,
Right.
into another
Nice
higher strike
rollover.
rate. You're always looking to write strikes closer to the market whenever it's advantageous for you to do so. So
That's the song of what is it? There's a whole bunch of kids on the bed, and the little one said, "Roll over, roll over." So they all rolled over, and one fell out. They gave a little scream. And gave a...
okay,
Okay, come on.
that's cool, I guess.
Brownie leader. It's in me. It's in me.
It's in you. Brownie leader
Never goes away.
can't stop the brownie leader. So my bagel today. What should I have today?
And you'll be getting it after the game.
Yeah, well, it's a third. Yeah, it'll be a while before I see Jen again.
That's right.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. What about a fried egg?
Oh, you haven't had an egg in a long time.
A fried egg.
Cheese,
Cheese.
ketchup.
Ketchup.
You want ham?
Maybe ham.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the entire
Okay.
enchilada. We'll do that.
A McEgg, a Bruce McEgg. That sounds like a WWE fighter, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bruce McEgg.
Sounds weird.
Like, no,
Sounds
instead of
strange.
McGregor.
A McGregor. A
McEgg.
McBageler. Thank you, Jen.
Bruce McEgg.
Thank you so much. The Olympics. What can I say, folks? We're watching the Olympics, and that's what's going on. What can I say? What's going on here? We've got folks happening here. Lots of comments. Let's see. MTDR reports earnings today. It's a good idea to buy. Is it a good idea to buy calls and puts? Same striker expires this Friday. TCM, I don't know. TCM, Matterport, 786 a share. We're down 53 cents right now. Tell me what the heck's going on here. To me, I can't believe Matterport is where it's at. I just cannot believe it. It is ridiculous. But again, I come back to who would want to sell here and why. And the only group I can think of, there's two groups that were making money on Matterport stock in a big, big way, and that would be pipe financiers at $10 a share and insiders of the company. And I don't know if insiders of the company are selling the stock because I haven't seen any filing reports. 2.6 million traded today, low of 780, we're at 788. Ridiculous. But Matterport has a way of having a good day followed by a bad day. So it might be that the best buy on Matterport right now is the stock itself at 788. It doesn't expire. That might be the way to go. Very frustrating on it for sure. Carol wants to know with Credit Savage, how's your family doing with this COVID thing? How are you guys doing? Dr. G says, we've been pushing 130. That was a while ago. We're at 128.62 on GameStop right now. SoFi was turning green. It's 12.72, up only 14 cents right now. Things have shifted. Do you mean Hans has switched his focus from Spire to SoFi? Who knows? Spire 284 down 19 cents, ATIP down 12 cents, ME down 11, Matterport down 55, SmartRent down 20, Cyxtera down 10. It's red. It's unreal. Down 210 on the Dow. And the GameStop up 282, AMC up 43 cents to 1991. AMC has given up $20, hit 2025 for the high, and now AMC is at 1990 on 13.3 million. So AMC is giving up 35 cents in about 20 minutes at the moment, under $20 a share. GameStop 129.18, up $3. These two guys are trading on, I don't know what. I don't know what they're trading on. I don't know what the purpose of it is. I don't know what the upside is for either stock right now. I don't have anything I can tell you corporately why they're doing what they're doing. I got nothing. I got none. Anyway, there it is. Let's see. Will, Uncle Bruce, I think the street is shorting the stock to beat up all the people playing short-term calls, trying to get rich quick, taking easy paper off the lotto players. Well, I maybe will. I don't know. Groups, hedge funds, and other gamblers do trades to make money. They don't do trades to punish you. It's nothing personal. It's just business. They want to make money themselves. So if you can short SoFi at 13.20, 13.10, and then hit it down to 12.90, and then it falls by itself to 12.70, and your average short price is 13.05, you're happy to buy it back down here. And you're scoring a 30-cent gain all day long on millions of shares. That's called easy money. That's all this is. It could be short-term shorting and then covering back up, and then let's rinse and repeat until the street makes me stop. And right now the street is not making anybody stop, and that's the thing. Credit Savage Carol, we are doing better. Well, our 3 kids are doing much better. My wife and I are still coughing a lot. Wife is not boosted, so she really got hit, but thankfully the kids are so much better. Fabulous. Carol, oil up, NASDAQ down, VIX up, S&P 500 down, gold, silver up, ups and downs, not fun. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, oil up $2 to 94.07. That's the bad news. If oil is higher, we go lower because that means tensions in Ukraine are not going away. That's what it's telling you. Oil is your truth serum. It is going to be the barometer to tell us what's going on here. The Dow down 233 now. S&P down 35 and NASDAQ down 193, 1.3% drop on NASDAQ, 0.8 on S&P and 0.67 on the Dow. All right. Uncle Bruce, we were number 3. Thanks for the way you explain stuff. It is amazing. Thank you, Sean and Wendy. Franz, meanwhile, GameStop is slowly squeezing. Ori, I'm number 271 for thumbs ups, Bruce. Hey, thank you, Ori. Alexander, Uncle Bruce, remember those 218 355s I wrote on Goldman Sachs? Things are looking better for the cheaper rollover. Woot woot. There you go. That's another indicator right there. We're down $4 on Goldman, 359 last trade, and Alexander it's coming into his zone now. That's what's happening. That's what markets do. We're low of 358. We're at 359 right now. Looking a lot better there. Apple down to 170, down 225. Easy money on options there. Microsoft 294, easy money on options there. IBM 128.51, easy money on writing options there. Cisco down 41 cents, easy money on option writing there. That is what's going on, kids. We have our market down 239 with a downward bias versus an upward bias. Too much tension in the Ukraine. That's the one thing you can count on with Putin is a total uncertainty, and don't trust a single thing the guy says. He's in a power position with 150,000 troops. You think he's going back to Moscow with these guys? Think again. That's not going to happen. He wants something for his thing. Anyway, William, Shenanigators, Beach Boy, Shenanigangsters. There you go. Vilbus, I am sitting on my 113 until Friday unless we get some sort of healthy pullback. If I'm going to roll over to 130, I'll do it on Friday. Vilbus, you're good to go. I totally get it, but I will warn you and I will tell you that you might be able to roll up into 120s for next week or the week after, doing it now with 2 extra days this week. You've got 2 extra days of premium that you could be bringing in, and I want you to look for that. I want you to watch these option chains very closely and keep an eye on this because between now and Friday, you can pull the trigger, not just Friday itself. Keep an eye on that, especially if you're deep in the money on these calls. Carol, the Credit Savage, glad to hear babies are doing good. I hope your wife recovers soon. Make a ginger tea with lemon and cayenne pepper just a little bit. Will make her feel better. The Credit Savage. Uncle Bruce, I can't thank you enough for the wisdom, old man. You have been spot on 90% of the time. I sold Lucid calls in October. I got a $500 premium, and it went to 40. You told me to do nothing. They're now 400 out of the money right now. They're now 400. Way to go, man. What's going on with GameStop? What's happening? Michael, everybody needs a good IT guy. Credit. Carol, thank you. My mother actually dropped off ginger lemon and Carol something tea last night. Thank you, everybody. Obama Babe, I rolled out my 110 GameStop covered call to 115 April for an $8 premium net. Gives me some time for the stock to take a downward turn. This is the way. Way to go, Obama Babe. Well done. John Anderson says, good morning, Jen. Friends, anyone heard anything about the Matterport earnings? Any previous savior? Ryan Cohen tweeted earlier today, that normally pumps the stock. Carol, Credit Savage, thumbs ups to you. Cindy, nice tea. Carol, my 3-year-old likes that son, auntie, likes that son, Auntie Jen, laughing out loud. Song, likes that song, Auntie Jen sing. God. H. Gregory, would rolling out to April with GameStop be risky with earnings in March? No, 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 not at all, because you can re-roll, 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 re-roll. No, it's not at all. Not at all. Splair, good morning to you all. Hope you all had a good start to the day. I can tell you with earnings on GameStop, there's no way GameStop is coming out with a release that says, "Oh, we sold last year we did $2 billion in sales. This year's quarter we did $5 billion in sales. Last year we lost 50 million. This year we made 250 million. I mean, nothing like that's coming. Nothing like that is coming. It's all about the future and what the potential can be, and the shifting into NFT, crypto, you name it, all that stuff. That's the talk. And that's all potential. Anyway, Chris Savage, Uncle Bruce, you're right. This is insane. A huge real estate group in Asia with holdings in mainland China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Macau picks Matterport as the company for them to use with digital twins. And all we hear is crickets. Yeah, investment firms don't care. They just want to make money. I watched The Wolf of Wall Street last night, and it's so spot on. They just see money. They don't care about the stocks, just the volatility. Splair, sounds like the variant is much more horrible where you are than here in Europe. Less and less people here are talking about coughing and the thing you mentioned I used to and CBD. Splair, from me, best wishes for coming back to health, says Splair. Xavier, my 4-year-old listens to AC/DC, Pink Floyd, and Black Sabbath. He asks Alexa for their songs. He's like a little adult, calls me by name regularly. Well, I mean, it looks like the SoFi shorters have some work to do today. We're at 1280 on SoFi. The Dow's down 205. Rocket Lab down 27. GameStop 129.74. AMC at 2022, back over 20 again. Matterport 786 down 53. ME down 8.5 cents. Spire down 15. ATIP down 8.5. Smart Rent down a quarter, and Sextera down 3 cents. That's where we're at right here, right now. Splair Ginger, by the way, has some antibiotic effects. Says Splair. Bobby, going to let my 4-year-old listen to some 90s grunge music, JC. Bill Bus, GameStop will probably dip on earnings. Bobby, complete the journey into the dark side with Journey. There you go. Oh man. GameStop 129.60 a share, down from the 130.75 high of the day. Volume on GameStop this morning is 580,000 shares. We are not getting a massive, heavy volume buy wave by any means. But, it's up 363, but AMC is up 77 cents. It's at 2024. And it's traded 15 million in about an hour, which is, quieter than last week, but it's back to 2026. And that's where it's at this morning. High of the day on AMC, 2030. Right now, 2026, up 77 cents. That is helping GameStop with its run. Now, if AMC has a profit taking today, and it goes down to $18.50 for 20 minutes, GameStop could give up $10, but will it? There we have it. There's where we're at. Okay. My daughter's surgery is canceled for tomorrow. Her doctor has COVID. Oh my gosh. Credit Savage, you guys are making me feel like a square. I have my kids listen to Mozart, Beethoven, or Bach. What songs go sleep sometimes, but they theorize the house all day. They terrorize the house all day. Maybe AC/DC will work. Maybe if you play AC/DC, they'll get all riled up and they'll be exhausted at night, and then they'll sleep like babies. Who knows? I don't know. What can I say? Oh man. What else is going on here? Talking about kids playing music, and what else is going on here? Thank you all for being here and hanging out with me. I appreciate this. The Dow down 205, near the low of the day. S&P down 30. NASDAQ down 175. We got oil at $2.10 higher right now at 94.17. So, look, we dropped $3-something yesterday. We've come back to today. This Ukraine thing is still here. It hasn't gone anywhere. We're still dealing with this darn thing. So what can I say? Let's see. GameStop has been 100% utilization for the last 6 days. And what can I say? There you go. SoFi holding at 12.85, up 27 cents. Rugged Lab 9.90, down 26. GameStop 130.21, up 4.05. AMC at 20.26. Matterport down 56 cents. ME down 7 to 4.64. Spire down 16 cents to 2.88. ATIP 2.82, down 8.5. Smart Rent $8.68, down 26 cents. And Cyxtera has gone green, 11.74, up 8 cents. It's the first one to go green. Vanik down 3.80, Home Depot down $5, IBM down $1.30, Microsoft down $5.40, Apple down $2, Goldman down $2.90, Cisco down 50 cents, Facebook down $5.40, Amazon down $10.20, Tesla down $14.60, Google down $18, Bed Bath Beyond down a penny, BlackBerry down 12, Royal Caribbean up 117. Target down 125, JP Morgan up 51 cents, Costco down 9.26, Walmart down 49 cents, Nvidia down $4. Those are just some of the moves here we're watching right now on these stocks. Man, oh man, oh man. Moderna down 375 to 147. So we're watching a lot of stuff at the same time, as we always do. Down 185 on the Dow, a little better. Not incredibly better, but a little better. And GameStop 129.89 again, just under 130. AMC at 2017, up 69 cents right now. There you go. Lots of what's going on here in this market. Thank you all for seeing me and hanging out. What can I say? People talking about putting kids to sleep. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We're all good. What else can I tell you? Those of you who've written SoFi calls, the $15 calls, you do and do not have anything to worry about. $15 calls are losing their time value. They're still out of the money. There's opportunities where, like this morning at 13 something, you might have been able to write the 15 for a nice premium. Now they're at 12.84. They might be a buy again. Totally up to you if you want to do it. Those of you who want a guaranteed long-term return, you can buy SoFi at 12.86 right now and write $20 calls against the stock for next year, January, and you can probably haul in close to $2 a share of premiums. Totally up to you if you want to play that game. Just say to the stock, hey, why don't you go up $6 a share between now and December? Those calls will be trading at $1. I got the $2 in the meantime. I can do whatever I want with that money. And I might buy those calls back at $1 in December, and I'm going to rewrite new January's next year 25s for $2, $2.25. Thank you very much. I love the $2 I got now for a $12.90 stock, and I'm going to love something again on a $12.90 stock. Thank you. And if I get exercised, it's $25. Come and take me out. That means I have sold out at $29. The first $2 premium, the second $2 premium, plus the $25 exercise. I'm selling for $29. I bought at $12.86. You can take me out at $29 anytime you want. Not a bad money maker there. Again, it's up to you if you want to do that or not. There you have it. Let's see here. Folks are talking music. Wonderful. 129.51 and 2009 on AMC. 2009 on AMC. The high was 2035. Volume 16.5 million. GameStop 129.51. 130.75 was the high, and we traded 637,000 volume at the moment. So the stock now is off $1.30 something on GameStop from the high on 637,000. That's where things are at here. The Dow now down 216 again, 30-point drop here in the last few minutes, near the low of the day. 31-point drop on S&P, and NASDAQ down 173 points. And we've got oil trading at 94.07, up $2. The energy board is saying that U.S. distillate stockpiles are down 1.6 million barrels. U.S. gasoline supplies down 1.3 million barrels. Crude oil inventory up 1.1 million barrels. Mixed results. So more oil at the refineries and less oil in storage containers or gasoline after refining, but more oil coming in. So Oil is plentiful. There's no problem with oil. A 1 million barrel differential in the U.S. on a week, that is a nothing burger. That is a nothing burger. So these prices are too high. These oil prices are too high, but they're elevated because of the Ukraine. I'm hearing from sources, very reliable sources, that Calgary, Alberta, housing prices in Calgary, Alberta have really gone up lately. The entire market has turned dramatically in the last 6 months, apparently. Heck, 6 months ago, houses you couldn't give away a house a year ago in Calgary. It was tough market. Lots of houses for sale, lousy pricing. All of a sudden, prices are surging in Calgary, really doing well. And I heard a story yesterday that I thought was amazing. That I'm aware of someone who had a house for sale up until about 3 or 4 months ago, maybe 6 months ago. They were trying to sell their house for like a half a year, from a little over a year ago to about 6 months ago. And the listing, it never went. No serious offers came in. And so they pulled their listing. They just took the house off the market. Now, phone calls are coming in and text messages, emails to the owner of the house from buyers from out of town who have been looking to acquire a home in the Calgary area, who are finding this listing that is no longer current, but they have found this expired listing, and they're asking, are you still for sale? Did you ever sell your house? Are you still the owner that had it listed? Are you still looking to sell your house? Would like to talk to you about it. I was amazed at that, but what really blew my mind was we're talking about a house that is over $1.5 million, and phone calls are coming in, buyers asking, "Are you interested in selling your house?" Apparently, in the neighborhood that this house is in, sales anything that's listed, multiple offers in days. It's incredible. The turnaround is just 180 for Alberta. Calgary in particular. This is a city that's an oil town. This is an oil and gas city. And they were in tough times last year with oil down in the 50s and 60s and so on. It's been a number of years of tough oil markets. And all of a sudden here at 94 a barrel, yeah, this is American money we're talking about too. 94 American. These Canadian oil and gas producers, rocking. They are rocking. It is most interesting what's going on with real estate over there. Anyway, there you go. Hector, only Uncle Bruce gets any airtime in my house. Carol, how much is a gallon of gas in your state? I'll start with $3.52 a gallon, says Carol. Carol, what state are you in? It's Florida. Fantastic. Saskatchewan has plenty of 200,000 to 300,000 4-bedroom houses. Just got to muscle through the winters. Dana, Bobby, I often made the connection to some classical to metal, and I like metal as well as other genres. Alabama, Bama Sand, 324. Savior, all good music appreciation people here. Michael, 337 New York, but that's at Costco, cheapest around right there. Thankfully, Jennifer and I don't have to buy gasoline here, but $4.50 to $5.50 a gallon, depending on where you go. Crazy. Dana Abadal, smiling. Hi, Dana. Welcome, and thank you for your comments today. It's great to have you here. 190-point drop on the Dow right now. Rocket Lab at 998, a bit of a recovery here, down 18 cents. SoFi recovering at 1293, and that's unfortunate. It was over 13, like a hot knife through soft butter this morning. 1293, up 35 cents on SoFi. GameStop 129.79, AMC 2034, trying to hit a new high. Matterport 787, down 52 cents. ME down only 3 cents. 468, it's coming back on. Spire just turned a corner here. It's still off 14 cents to 289, but looks like it's coming on. ATIP still down 11 cents. Smart Rent down 24, and Sextera up 8 right now. That is the dealio on the markets that we're following here. Down 200 points on the Dow Jones right now. What can I say? Gasoline in some states in the 3s, others in the 4s. Depends on where you live, I suppose, as to what's going on. The AMC at 2029 now, the high today, 2042. I think we just set that mark in the last 5 minutes. We're at 2029 on AMC. GameStop 129.71. The high of the day, 130.75, about 40 minutes ago. Volume 674,000 on GameStop. That is not enough to really run this market. It's moving along with AMC. AMC's dragging it up, which tells me that GameStop could easily give up $5 a share today on any kind of a pullback on AMC. If AMC falters, GameStop will drop quickly. But we got to see what happens. Thank you all. Appreciate it that you're all here. 206-point drop on the Dow as we are coming into the final hour of this show, and we're watching to see what's going to happen. Let's go. In Germany, Splair saying gasoline. I remember that comes more and more closer. It's coming closer to $2 a liter. No, €2 a liter. €2. But I don't drive a car happily. In Poland on the border, there's now it's €1 a liter in Poland. Unbelievable. State taxes are much different in Poland than in Germany. $2 a liter, €2 a liter would be about $2.60 US a liter. And that is definitely double Canadian prices. And so in Canada, gas is approaching $5 US a gallon. This would be $10 US a gallon for a US gallon in Germany. That's what it's approaching, just to kind of give you some perspective. So if you're driving a pickup truck in Germany, you are driving very little, or you got a lot of money. Because you want to put in 20 gallons. 20 gallons at $10 a gallon, $200 a fill for your pickup truck. Yikes. I'm crazy. Yeah. Dana, watch the movie Amadeus. I love that movie. I really enjoyed it. You will see that Mozart was like a rock star. I haven't seen it since it came out, but in the 80s, that's how I remember it. That movie was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic movie. Great acting and the music in there. Oh, man, was that nicely done. Splair. But the issue on Poland's border is that the government, they don't take taxes at the border, so more people travel there, but only at the border to Germany. They just go over the border, get gas, and come back. And Poland doesn't make a lot of money on taxes because they don't have taxes. They're offering gasoline so cheap, I guess. It's crazy what a price comparison this is. SoFi is running in, says Nicholas. 1304. We're over 13. H. Greg, it took Bama Babe's advice and rolled 103 GameStop expiring today for 115 April 14 with a $4 profit. There you go. That is well done, H. Gregory. Thank you, everybody. Well done. Good move. Bobby, Brockville is a border city. 2 bridges around me. Many summers I would zip across for cheaper gas and groceries. You bet. Yep. I remember in Creston when we could travel across no problem. We'd cross the border 3-4 miles from our house. And we could just go to Bonner's Ferry and save 75 cents a gallon easily from Canadian prices. If we went down to the Costco in Coeur d'Alene, we'd save $1 a gallon easily. We'd do a Costco run, absolutely come back with virtually a full tank of gas, and we've saved $20 on the tank, or $16 on the tank of gas. Yeah, that adds up. And we had a hot dog and a chicken bake too. I mean, life was great back then. It wasn't so easy, and it's not so easy anymore. What can I say? Keep talking Germany so that SoFi will rise, says Nicholas. Do people still run their diesel trucks on McDonald's French fry oil? I don't even know if that's done anymore. As a savior, music died in 1999, I believe. Even the Super Bowl halftime had to resort to music from the last millennium. There you go. Carol saying, look at that SoFi, baby. SoFi 13. Yes, 1304 on the SoFi, up 47 cents. GameStop 129.83. AMC at 20.32. Those 3 shares are all up. Those stocks are all up today. But everyone else is red, except for Sextera up 2 cents. And Robinhood up 6. There's red everywhere else. Lots of red here. Royal Caribbean is up 163. 87.90 makes no sense. I can't help them. I can't help those people. We're down 232 on the Dow. I think we're at the low of the day now on the Dow Jones. We're just about that level. We're within about 10, 15 points of the low of the day on the Dow Jones, down 233 right now. 18-cent loss on Rocket Lab, 1305 on SoFi, 129.96 on GameStop, 2040 on AMC. These shares are hitting their highs of the day with the Dow at the low of the day, the total opposite. There's sooner or later there will be a reckoning. It always comes. Anyway, Bobby is saying, I've heard heating oil being used in diesel trucks, never fast food oil. And that's it there. Thank you all for your commentary. Down 220 on the Dow, 28-point loss on S&P, and NASDAQ down 145. So it's wild, it's wacky, it's the markets. Welcome one, welcome all to the crazy show, to the crazy markets these days. Let's take a look at headlines elsewhere. Double checking to see if anything else crazy is going on right now. We have a headline in the Wall Street Journal: U.S. retail sales grew sharply in January as Omicron wave eased. Biden orders archives to release Trump White House visitor logs to the January 6th panel. As oil nears 100, Saudis snub the U.S. and stick to a Russian pact. The U.S. has repeatedly called on Saudi Arabia to pump up more oil to reduce gasoline prices that for Americans are about twice as high as they were earlier in the pandemic. The Saudis have said no. Gee, what would be the solution to that? How can America respond to this kind of a snub by the group that buys F-15s from Americans for their self-defense? Gee, maybe if every American just used 1 gallon of gas less a day, that could pretty well finish those guys off. That could do it. 1 gallon of an American less per day of usage of gasoline would drop oil by $30 a barrel, would put a glut on the market like you cannot imagine, which will cause further drops in oil. Gasoline on American pumps would be $1.95 a gallon and less. Inflation would evaporate, would be eviscerated in the U.S. quickly, very quickly. Americans would be able to fly cheaper, cruise cheaper, live cheaper. Balance of payments would be in America's favor to the tunes of billions of dollars per day. And it would cost the Saudis trillions of dollars over the next number of years in lost revenues as a thank you for being there when America asked you for help. Just a thought. It's just me. I don't know. Well, I'm doing what I can. There you go. Justice Department is targeting spoofing and scalping in short seller investigation. Federal prosecutors are investigating whether short sellers conspired to drive down stock prices by sharing damaging research reports ahead of time and engaging in illegal trading tactics. People familiar with the matter said, does anyone here on this channel have any interest in a story like this? Any interest in a story like this? Really? The U.S. Justice Department has seized hardware, trading records, and private communications in an effort to prove a wide-ranging conspiracy among investors who bet against corporate shares, the people said. One tactic under investigation is spoofing, an illegal ploy that involves flooding the market with fake orders in an effort to push a stock price up or down, they said. Another is scalping, where activists, short sellers, cash out their positions without disclosing it. Gee, I think, would there be anyone who follows me on a regular basis have any kind of an interest in this investigation? Carson Block, the fiery short seller behind Muddy Waters, who was served with a search warrant by an FBI agent in October, said the people familiar with the matter, one of whom added that the warrant extended to Mr. Block's phones. Federal agents took computers belonging to Andrew Left, another prominent short seller, according to Bloomberg News, which previously reported the existence of an investigation. Do you know who Andrew Left is? Does anyone remember the name Andrew Left? He was the guy that was short a ton of stock, GameStop stock. And he tried to tell everyone not to be short GameStop when it was $20 a share. He tried to go live on Twitter back in January of last year. He tried to go live on Twitter to say why the stock shouldn't be. You should not be going long on the stock. You should really be careful. It really is overvalued at 20. And between the time he tried to go live and was able to actually post anything on Twitter, the stock went to 40. He started to get out of his short positions. By the time it got to 80, he had gotten out. And then after it went to 80 to 100, then we found out that one of those hedge funds we've heard about, name escapes me at the moment, lost billions of dollars as it went to 120 to 160 and higher. Andrew left. Remember him? In any event, never the most popular camp on Wall Street, short sellers have had an especially bruising few years. Soaring stock prices, even through the pandemic, undercut their bearish bets. They were cast as villains last year by the meme stock crowd who delighted in forcing them into steep losses. Some have thrown in the towel altogether. Still, they can play a crucial role in uncovering corporate frauds. One short seller helped turn up the heat on Enron. Others were early to sound the alarm in the 2008 financial crisis and more recent scandals, including Wirecard AG. Now they may have to defend themselves against a federal investigation, which is being led in part by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Los Angeles, an office known for prosecuting organized crime rings. Spoofing is essentially high-speed bluffing, in which one trader dupes others into transacting at artificially high or low prices. A spoofer, for example, might offer to sell a big block of shares at $10 when the last sale was at $10.03. After other sellers rush to match the lower price, the spoofer quickly pivots, canceling all his sell orders and instead buying the $10 price he generated with a fake bid. Repeated enough times, spoofing can produce big profits. The tactic was outlawed in 2010. In 2016, a New Jersey commodities trader was sentenced to 3 years in prison, the government's first criminal spoofing case, and the beginning of a crackdown. The same year, the trader who was blamed for the 2010 flash crash, when the stock market lost and quickly regained almost $1 trillion in value, pleaded guilty to spoofing and was sentenced to a year's house arrest. By 2020, the Justice Department had charged 20 people with spoofing related crimes and collected more than $1 billion in fines from banks and other financial institutions. Media reports on the current investigation have compelled prominent short sellers such as Messrs. Block and Left to defend their actions and highlight their success in uncovering corporate frauds. The investigators and their lawyers have said that they are confused by the Justice Department interest in their investing tactics and suspect the government has seized on academic research they believe was unfairly portrayed activist investors as bad actors who conspired to manipulate stocks. Columbia Law School professor Joshua Mitz, who published a 2020 academic paper entitled Short and Distort, that was critical of short selling tactics, has been advising the Justice Department in its investigation. People familiar with the matter said. Mr. Mitz has in the past also served as an expert for companies and executives, including Farmland Partners and Bank of California's former CEO, that have sued short sellers alleging they promoted false or misleading research. Analyses performed by Mr. Mitz on those companies prepared in private litigation, not for the Justice Department investigation, show that in the moments around the release of a short seller report, heavy volumes of sell orders are sent to exchanges and then canceled within fractions of a second, according to documents reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. That behavior, Mr. Mitz argues in the documents, is a telltale sign of spoofing. We are happy that the Justice Department is looking into this. As we have said for a long time, our shareholders were the victims of an orchestrated short and distort attack, said Paul Pittman, chief executive of Farmland, whose shares fell 39% the day a Texas short seller accused the company of financial misdeeds in 2018. Farmland sued both an investment research firm and a hedge fund, alleging they publicized a false and misleading report. The researcher later issued a public apology, a rare win for a company targeted in such a campaign. Short sellers argue that at least once Mr. Mitz's theories on spoofing don't hold up in court. In 2020, a UK High Court judge dismissed the findings that short sellers had relied on spoofing to drive down the price of Burford Capital, a litigation finance firm. It was Mr. Block's Muddy Waters whose research report on Burford had triggered a 50% drop in the price of the stock. Interesting comment here, article. Don't we know how this applies to us, huh?
Shorting and spoofing.
Spoofing and scalping and all kinds of chicanery, all kinds of shenaniganery, shenaniganery and shenaniganomics.
Yeah.
Shenanigan station. I don't know what to say. 132 on GameStop. That much I can tell you. It's going up. It's at 132, 131.24. AMC at 20.54. The Dow down 229. The Dow is at near its low of the day, and GameStop is near its high of the day.
Again.
How coincidental is this? Is this the most incredible coincidence of all time? AMC is at the high of the day, with the Dow near a low of the day. Isn't that the wildest thing ever? SoFi 1314. It's at its high of the day. At 1328 is the high of the day on 24.2 million shares. What can I say? It's a strange world in which we live. I really wonder. Jen, thank you so much for this BAGEL. We have the sad face. Sweden must have lost the hockey game, huh? Did the Canadians blow it?
Late in the third, we might have given the puck away.
Oh.
And they went down and scored.
Oh.
And then that was like 3 minutes and change. And then with 2 minutes and change, we pulled our goalie and they scored in the open net to win 2-0.
Goodbye, Canada. Goodbye, America. No medals for you guys.
And Sweden's going to eat Slovakia's lunch. I shouldn't say that, but you know, if history has anything to say about it, it's a good thing you have a big mouth to get around those big bagels. You know, just saying. Sometimes a big mouth comes in handy. That's all I'm saying.
This is when you stay quiet.
Is that the big mouth frog?
This is when you don't speak.
That's so interesting.
This is when it's best to remain silent. Anything you say could be used against you in the memory of your wife.
Come forward. They're going to see my arm. Your tag is.
I know.
Drives me wild.
I know, and I keep doing that, and it goes up again. Yeah, this is when you don't say anything.
You just don't.
Thank you, Miss Jan. Appreciate it.
Have fun with your Gamestop.
We're watching it. We're talking about rollovers and so on. And we're going to keep talking about rollovers. The higher it goes, the more you want to take a look at those option chains to see if you can do rollovers and move forward on these contracts. So good. Excuse me, everybody. Thank you. Here we go. Mirko, I rolled my 105 GameStop this Friday. It's expiring this Friday into April 1 strike 125s with a $3 profit. There you go. Taking money off the table and moving up your strike price. You don't mind the stock is 132 right now. You don't have to mind it at all. This is great. You just moved up $20 a share with a $3 profit. You just added $23 of wealth to your account. I like it. Per share. I like it. Anyway, there you have it. Let's see. And let's see. When I try to roll my GameStop rights, what's the advantage to use the roll option where I buy back and rewrite in one order? Can I buy, close, and rewrite on separate orders? Yes, you can, and yes, you should. You should do your buyback as one transaction by itself as a stink bid deal, because that will initiate now the need to make the other side, the new right. And that's what you want to do. You want to do this separately. Do not get sucked in to these rollover strategies with these platforms, because you will be paying market price on both ends, and there's no point in it at all. If you do a roll option, you are limited to the spread and not setting individual stink bids. That's right, Mr. Doctor knows what he's talking about. That's what I'm saying. You do it yourself. Here we go. Here, Clay. It's a rolling order. It's a buy, close your current position, then sell the new one. Separate transactions. 2 separate transactions. Right on. Okay. Let's see. What's going on? Thumbs up number 316. Hi, Robert. Thank you. Thank you all, says Vapor. You got it, buddy. You're aware of what's happening here. Good, 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 good. I just rolled, Dr. G, I just rolled my GameStop 125s to 130s for this Friday for a small profit on the premium exchange. And hey, I'll just make my profit this week on the capital gain. Thank you very much. Exactly. There you have it. Let's take a look here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's continue on. Bobby, stay quiet and give the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Say no more. Pick Nose says, I had a 100 cover call. I could only roll out to 110 April 1 last week for a premium. Rolling's a lot easier when the stock price was at the 200. Don't worry about it. Pick Nose, you just keep looking. Keep watching. As each day goes by, this contract you wrote will keep, depreciating out, and you'll look for your next roll. You'll look for your next one, and of course, you're watching the stock for a pullback and all that. So, there you go. I'm still holding my 105s for this Friday, but considering rolling today or tomorrow, I agree. If you can roll into 110s, 115s, 120s, look into that. Yes. And let's go. Matterport earnings today? Question mark. And should be, Robert, says Bobby. There you go, everybody. Thank you. I'm caught up to your comments. Incredible. 131.73 on GameStop right now. The high of the day, 132.81. And it's our high trade on GameStop. But we haven't done a million shares, not even a million shares on the stock. The Dow right now down 256, near the low of the day. SoFi 1302, we're backing off again. And GameStop 131, AMC 2017 backing off as well. Matterport back to 8. Right on. Okay. Matterport down 40, but back to 8. ME is up 475, up 4 cents. All right, 256 down dip on the Dow. A little green here and there. Not a lot, but a bit. Oh, this is so good. It's not easy to control, but it's good. Oil is up again, 255. 255 a barrel, 94.62. GameStop under 131, 130.88. It's down $2 from its high today now. Okay. Headline, the future is now. Even DeLorean will have an EV offering this year. Even DeLorean. Sounds like an interesting headline, doesn't it? My goodness. Thank you all for being here, hanging out there with me. I appreciate it. I'm trying to eat this big fat bagel with egg and cheese and ham and ketchup on it. Oh man, look at that sesame seed bagel. Ooh. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. 13-14 on SoFi. Go! Go! 131.50 on GameStop. 20.32 on AMC. The Dow down 240. Thank you all. I'm topping out. I'm having trouble finishing this. So full. This is so much. Oh, it is a chock full. Big time bagel. My goodness. Can't overeat. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with me and wishing us the best here. Jen and I, we're 12 days away from hitting the road. We're going to be out of here on Monday, the 28th of February. I will be on the air Monday morning from this location one last time. And then we're in Vegas for 3 nights. I'll be live from Vegas, if at all possible, for the first couple days over there, the Monday, and I think it's the Tuesday. I can't remember anymore. I don't know the dates. And then we're in Calgary, and I will be live from Calgary. So you'll be traveling with us as we move forward and head north, unfortunately. Uncle Bruce, when are you going to release your bagel brand? When are you releasing your bagel brand? Well, I just buy bagels at the deli up here, Sherman's Deli, locally. They have it brought in from somewhere. I don't know where. But that's where I've been buying them. When we get back to Calgary, I'll be getting my sesame seed bagels from Costco. They sell them in 6-packs up there, and they are delicious. Costco down here, they don't have sesame seed bagels. They have everything bagels. They have raisin bagels. Yuck. Cheese covered bagels. They don't make the sesame bagels down here. Crazy. So yeah, I'll be enjoying those back up there. I might be without a bagel for a bit in Vegas. I might be bagelless. Might be bagelless. Crisis. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. It's going to be goofy. I'll let you know. My goodness. Anyway, we're watching the markets down. We're down 246 on the Dow now. This market is within about 20 points of its low of the day, 25 points of its low of the day here, just around that neighborhood. Down 243 now. Rocket Lab at 991, down a quarter. SoFi at 1318, 10 cents off its high of the day on 27 million. GameStop 132 again, 132.01. The high of the day 132.81 on 961,000, not even a million. AMC at 2038. The high of the day 2058 on 22 million shares for AMC. Matterport back to 795. ME up 4.5 to 475. Spire down 19 at 285. ATIP 282 down 8. SmartRent 872 down 23 cents. Cyxtera up 11 to 1177. All-time high for Cyxtera 1279. We're $1.02 away from an all-time high on Cyxtera shares. Not much volume. Robinhood up 34 cents, but Vanik down 290. Home Depot down 630. IBM down $1.33. Microsoft up off 450. Apple down 177. Goldman Sachs down 385. Cisco down 65 cents. Facebook down 540. Amazon up $13. Tesla down 7. Google down 19 at the moment. Royal Caribbean up 167 to 87.94. Costco down $10. Walmart down to 124. Nvidia down 224. So Negative on the big stocks, definitely. Nasdaq, the loser, down 125.89 of a point, where the Dow is down 0.62 at 215 points. Splair is saying, you need your own bagel brand. Bagels from Bruce, bagel from Bruce, from the oven, so that we can get them in Europe too. Yeah, I don't know about that. Uncle Bruce, will Aunt Jen get upset at me if I buy you a table dance and a drink at one of the Las Vegas nicer clubs? Do you think you think Jen will be a little upset? Well, let me go ask her. I'll ask her after the show, okay? And then you can take a look at my face for the next show to see how the answer went. Still leaning towards, but with this run, GameStop is on. Good premiums are tempting, says Coyote. There you go. Let's go. Is it legal to drive a bagel across a state line? Hector's asking for a friend. Oh my! Where are we at now? We're down 213 on the Dow, 1322 on SoFi. We're up 64. GameStop 132.20, up $6. AMC at 20.48, up $1. 20.46, up 98 cents. So AMC is up about $1. GameStop is up about 6. But if you extrapolate it, you take the AMC price of $20, multiply it by 6.5. That gets you $130. That's where the GameStop shares are. Well, 6.5 on the gain of AMC. AMC is up 97 cents times 6.5, $6.40 a share. Whereas GameStop up $6.50 a share. It's all relative. They're up exactly the same amount in percentage terms. They're mirroring each other exactly. And there are traders trading them. I don't know why or how they're mirroring them, but they are. And I throw my hands up and go, I don't know. I've been saying this for a year. I've been saying this. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, Austin is saying, I'm still scratching my head. How SoFi and Matterport are down where they are. The others make sense, but not these two. I hear you. I don't know. Rocket Lab 992, SoFi 1320, Matterport 797. 797 on Matterport. Crazy. Volume on SoFi now, 28.1 million. The high today, 1328. The low, 1260. And that's SoFi today, 1318 right now. And GameStop at 132.46, AMC 20.43, Matterport 798, and E476, up 5.5 cents. The Dow down 222, down 222. I don't know. Franz is thinking that right now shorts are fleeing Matterport at the moment. They're getting out. Well, if they were, the stock would be straight up. But at down 42 cents, shorters are not getting out. Not with a down 41 cent price right now. I don't think so. Bobby, when shorting, you bring the stock down. Does exiting a short increase the stock? If you are a very deft trader, you really know your stuff, and you understand the philosophy of the markets, what you do is when you are a shorter, the market doesn't know you're shorting. You're not affecting the market at all. What you're trying to do as a shorter is when you are selling stock to go short, you're trying to sell stock at the highest price possible. You don't want to affect the market to go down at all. You want to sell off stock at the high price, the best price you can get for as long as you can get it. If you feel there's research coming or an annual report coming out, a quarterly report coming out, the company's announced 2 weeks from now, we're going to release our financials. You feel that report's going to be lousy. You're shorting leading up to that meeting, and you're trying to sell stock without anyone knowing you're shorting. You're just trying to sell into the market without causing a scene here. Now, the day before the meeting, you might be a little more aggressive in shorting stock, and you're helping it ease off a little bit because you've got a block shorted already. You got 1 million or 2 shorted up here. You're now shorting another 1 million down here to drive it lower. The numbers come out, and if you're right, and the numbers are terrible. The street doesn't like it. Then it's a negative vibe. The stock gets downgraded, whatever. You're not putting any buy orders in anywhere. You're just on the sidelines. You're still offering stock for sale at yesterday's price. The hope you have is that the shares now will drop in price from here. And, some of these stocks drop 10% in one day. And you're down there. You're down there trying to buy up stock. And you need 3 million shares to cover your entire position. And if you can buy back all 3 million shares without moving the market higher by just being down there and accumulating stock from time to time, they don't know you're buying back. Oh, that's the perfect shorter. That is the perfect short sale strategy. You sell when no one knows you're selling. You're buying back when no one knows you're buying back. And you've made your money as a shorter. That's the art of short selling. Lousy short sellers, or short sellers that are unafraid to be seen, are attackers, and they'll blow off blocks of stock, and then they'll keep selling and keep selling, and they will try to drive a stock lower on a momentum trade over days and weeks. And they may hire people to spread false rumors, or they may be looking for reports of insiders selling or whatever to try to hype what their cause is. Their cause is they think it's going to go down, and they're helping it as much as they can. And then they're down on the low end as other innocent victims sell off because they figure, oh, it's not going up, I might as well get out. And here they are buying up your stock from you. But when they're lousy and they're not successful, they move the market down a bit, but the street catches on that this is artificial selling. This is all crap. This selling is just a guy trying to run the market down. And a wave of support comes in, buying support comes in, that overpowers the seller to the point where the shares are higher now than the short seller sold at. And the higher it goes, the worse the losses, because they can be unlimited. That could force them back in. But deep-pocketed hedge funds with billions in power are very difficult to push around like that. And that's where GameStop was the difference maker a year ago. GameStop shares traded at such incredible volumes in the hundreds of dollars per share, that we were trading billions of dollars in stock every day. And that overpowered many a shorter because they didn't have the kind of power to stop it. They didn't have that kind of money. SoFi at 13.16 is a joke. You want to short 10 million shares? Big deal. A million shares is $13 million. 10 million shares is 130 million bucks. You got $10 billion behind you and you're short 13 million in stock? Whoop-de-doo, man. You gonna push me around? 130 million short? I got 2 billion against it. You're not pushing me around. I'm pushing you around. And that's what these guys are thinking right here. They're not afraid of the retail investor on SoFi. They don't think a billion shares of buying will come into the stock every day for a month. They're not afraid of it. And therein lies the difference. Just saying. Anyway, there it goes. There it goes. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Nice to see you all. And, let's see if we can make money. 131.89 on GameStop, 20.38 on AMC. It's only up 92 cents now. It was up $1 something. And GameStop up 5.98. It was up 6 something, a little better. But we're not down a lot from the highs of the day. We're right around here. So give it its due. 193 loss, 193-point loss on the Dow. And Rocket Lab down 22. SoFi up to 13.20, up 62 cents. Matterport back to $8. ME 475. Spire 287. ATIP 282. SmartRent 872. Cyxtera 1175. We're not getting any help there, and the markets are down 198. There you go. So we're at the mercy of our whales. Yeah, what you want is whales to think like you're thinking. They're looking at SoFi going, wow, this thing can go to $40 a share. You know what? We should buy up this stock here quietly and just let these shorters hit us. We should just buy up millions of shares of SoFi. And then, we get to that, $13.5, $14 level. We'll aggressively buy more to 15, give it a day or two there. Then we'll move it up to 16, give it a 2 or 3 days there, move it to 17. We'll just grind these guys out of existence. Once it's $25, these guys will be down billions All of them. We're sitting on billions of profits with a huge market momentum behind us. We can run this to $35 a share. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the longs to join the party and get with the party, pal. I don't know. I don't know. I do know. What can I say? I believe Sixterra is being shorted because of your explanation. Really? Is there enough volume there to cause millions of shares to be shorted? I don't think so. Sixterra doesn't trade. Today's volume, 19,000. How many can you get off? There's nothing trading here. It's really dead on Sixterra. Really dead. I don't know. Down 228 on the down. We're dipping again. Another little dip, down 231 now on the down. SoFi 1316 and GameStop 131.22. AMC at 20.36. GameStop AMC is up 88 cents, not up a dollar something. We were as high as 20.58 on AMC. We've given up 24 cents on AMC so far. All right, Bama Babe. GameStop was one-time shot for retailers. It was a one-time shot. The whales have figured that one out with their algorithms and made the change. That will never happen again, in my opinion, says Bama Babe. Well, Bama Babe, you could be right. Well, that was something, from $5 to 500. That was a run, all right. Little interference there from Robinhood. Remember that? That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, we're down 240 on the Dow, down 240 now. And we're at 1313 on SoFi, 131.40 on GameStop, 2030 on AMC. That's where we're at. Oil now up 278, climbing. It's still climbing, penny by penny by penny. 94.85. We were down to 91 yesterday afternoon, $91. We're at 94.80 on oil. We're back where we were. This Ukraine thing has not gone away. It's not gone away. Okay. Coyote, Bamba Babe, the SEC changed the rules regarding shorting the same share multiple times. They literally changed the rules because of GameStop to make sure it didn't happen again. Chicago, nothing has happened yet, Bama. And Coyote, correct. She thinks Coyote is correct. Yeah, well, what can I say? There you go, Coyote. Not that I'm against the rule change, but they knew about this nonsense for years. Only acted once retail got one over on big money. Then they acted. Austin, if I were a gambling man, I'd say old Putin is going to grab some of Ukraine at any moment. The oil is telling us that. Oil up 276 to 94.83. Bama Coyote, I'm not so sure whales do not short still multiple times. Well, there's the derivative market. You can do all kinds of shit there. Sorry about that, but you can do all kinds of stuff over there. Because it hit this baby hits 88 miles an hour over there all the time, and there's all kinds of stuff going on over there. What can I say? 225 is the down dip on the Dow. 1311 on SoFi, 131.66 on GameStop. We're down about $1.20 from the high of the day of 132.85. 2023 on AMC, down from the 2050 something range that we touched at this point. We still have not hit the high of AMC that we hit last week. We were at 21 something, and we haven't gotten back to that level yet. Okay. Bama, Coyote, whales will just pay the fine. Too much profit here. Bobby, with the new Emergency Act in Canada, Bay Street wants clarification on what a bank freeze means. Coyote, well, I guess they could, but from my understanding of the rules, shares now have individual IDs that mark them now to watch for that. So who knows? All said, I don't trust or believe in the SEC. There you go. GameStop 131.02. Looks like it's backing up a little here. 2018 on AMC, it's backing up right now. The Dow down 231 right now. Okay. Coyote, Bama Babe, I agreed. I look at the Mets owner made billions from insider trading. Had to pay some millions as a fine. That's just the cost of doing business. There you go. No jail time. No jail time for you. How about that? Oh my, oh my, oh my. It is what it is. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. How are we doing on this poll question? 635 votes have come in today on the poll question, which was, in 2022, GameStop shares will trade, option number one, over $200 a share or under $75 a share. And 73% of you are saying this stock's going to trade over 200 in 2022 as opposed to under $75. Only 27% feel shares will go under 75 a share, where 73% think it'll go over 200 on the old GameStop. Very interesting. I think today is anniversary day for some of you folks out there. I believe today is the day that some of you folks joined my channel as a Chillin' with Uncle Bruce member on March the 6th. Is it February 16th? Yeah, March 16th. So this is the 12th month that you're becoming a member if you're rolling over your membership today. And you're probably going to get a brand new logo beside your name tomorrow to signify that. And I thank you, all of you who've been here now, approaching 1 year of membership on this channel. This is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all so much for your support of this channel as a member. A bunch of you have now upgraded your membership to gold membership, and I thank you for that. That is a wonderful gesture on your part as well, and I hope you're getting a lot more out of the gold membership than the regular Chillin' with Bruce membership. Love this. Thank you all very much. Do you still think, Uncle Bruce, that IBM is a buy? Thanks, you're a conservative nephew. Yeah, I think IBM is a long-term upside buy. Yeah, they're growing quickly. I think the stock's a perfect candidate for poor man covered calls if you can get the calls cheap enough. Cam, morning. I'm number 327. Bruce, don't forget Putin is ex-KGB. He shoots first and asks questions later. It's too bad he wasn't more like Maxwell Smart's enemy, KAOS. Paul's going, hey, what's up? Bobby, missed it by that much. So close. He is what he is, and he does what he does, and he's done what he's done, and oh boy. Yeah, such fun. Such fun till Daddy takes the T-Bird away. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Nice to have you here, and I appreciate the support today for all of you. I appreciate this very much. And look forward to seeing you this afternoon, by the way. I'll be on the air at 3 o'clock Eastern for the last hour today. And tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I keep forgetting. Tonight, live, prime time live with Uncle Bruce for Gold Bagel members. If you're a Gold Bagel member, you get to join us tonight live at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Make sure you pop in and say hi. If you have any questions about your trading and what's going on, let me know, and we'll see what we can do for you tonight. For Gold Bagel members, 8 o'clock Eastern time tonight on this channel for Gold Bagel members. The alert will be going out in the next little while to let you know that the show is coming up for ya. Fantastic. T-Jack is saying, Uncle Bruce, I wrote GameStop 120 expiring 25 February. Should I roll now or cross my arms and wait until next week? I sold for 570 and I would buy back for 15. What do you think I should do? So the 120s right now are in the money, $10. You do not buy back. No, you do not. Your contracts expire next week, Friday. So no, you don't do anything right now. You do nothing, my friend. And you sit and wait. The only way you're going to write rollover is if you were going to be able to write a 125. If you could write a 125 for, say, March, 4th, or the first week of March, second week of March, if you could write a 125 for more money than the 15, then you'd look at that. But you don't have to do that until next week, and I would recommend you wait till next week. In the meantime, of course, the shares can at any time cough up $10, $12 a share and drop to 119, putting you out of the money and bringing your contracts down dramatically from 15. Keeping in mind that between now and next Friday, there will be no premium on your contracts. They will only trade at book value. So even at 131, your calls will only trade at 1110 next week, Friday. So they're already going to lose another $3.90 a share as it is, from 15 down to 11-ish. So they're going to lose almost $4 a share. Obviously, if the shares next Friday are 125, they're only going to be worth $5 each. You'll still make 70 cents if you just buy them back. But you know, and I know what you're going to do. You're going to buy your calls back eventually, and you're going to write new ones at a higher strike price for a short time frame, for a nice fat premium. In the meantime, your stock is up. Your stock is worth 131 a share. It wasn't worth 131 a share when you wrote those 120 calls. So congratulations, you're richer. You're going to get richer, and you're going to stay richer. I like it. Okay. Bobby saying, see you all this afternoon. See you later. John is saying, thanks. Hey, simpletons, I'm out of my meeting. When is prime time like in Norway? Well, how many hours ahead are you out of New York? Are you 5 hours ahead of New York or 6? If you're 6 hours ahead of New York, I'm on at 2 in the morning. You're going to have to watch the rerun of the show the next morning, which you can do before the market opens. No problem at all. Bobby, 8.5 hours from now, says Bobby. Okay, thank you. Duncan, big show tonight with Bruce. Who's going to be there? Who's going to be with Bruce tonight for the prime time live at 8 o'clock? I don't know. I don't know how many will show. It'll be interesting to see how many of you pop in. It'd be great to have you there. We're at 2010 now on AMC. Only at 2010. It's backed off from 2058 now to 2010. GameStop is 131.06 after topping out at 132.85. So about almost 279 a share lower. No, 179 a share lower, I guess, so far on GameStop. So it's given up a little bit. 1307 on SoFi, and Dow is off 199. So we're still holding this 200-point drop on the day, kind of. It fluctuates a bit. And we're watching this, of course, very closely, as we always do. GameStop now 130.47, $2.40 off the high of the day, approximately now for GameStop. As AMC is now 20.04, it's dropping as well. Looks like AMC might drop past $20 a share. Oh my, 13.04 on SoFi, down 195 on the Dow. And let's see. There you go. Bobby says, I'm no longer on, says Duncan, but I don't miss the Wednesday shows. I'm not on anymore. Good morning, Zach, says Duncan. How you doing, Zach? Welcome, Zach, I say too. Welcome to the show. Those of you who are here on Wednesday nights, we cover a lot of ground, and it's a pretty handy give and take. I have time on Wednesday nights to go into option chains and take a look with you on your option chains to help you, advise you what you might want to look at doing. So that helps because the markets are closed, the prices are set, and then I can just speculate with you as to what you could do and what you might not want to do, what you might want to think about doing. So tonight, if you want to talk about rollovers on GameStop, rollovers on Goldman Sachs, rollovers on anything else, tonight's show, 8 o'clock, join me live here on Stock Markets with Bruce for Gold Bagel members. That's the advantage of that Gold Bagel members have here, is you get to review trades, and we'll look it up. We'll look it up together and see what's going on. Vilbus, Uncle Bruce, I am taking your advice. Watching these options chains just feels like the minute I buy back and get to set to roll the next move up, war will start in Ukraine and everything will take a dump. Well, again, my friend, you have to have faith. You have to have some conviction, and you have to just take control and just, it's going to be all right. It's a long game. It's not a sprint. It's a long game. So relax. You're going to be okay. It's all right. Zach saying, hey, Dunk, buddy, I'm here. Duncan, he's saying hi. Fabulous, everybody. 1302 on SoFi, down 195, down 198 on the Dow. GameStop 130.79, about $2 below the high of the day. AMC 2003 now, just kind of hanging around 20, up 55 cents on AMC. Matterport 780 up 50, down 59. ME up 4 cents. Spire down 18. ATIP down a dime. SmartRent down 31. And Cyxtera up 8. That is where we're at. The Dow's down 194. And we're going to watch this market, of course, as the day wears on. I'll be on for the last hour today, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Join me then. And also tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Time for Prime Time with Uncle Bruce for Gold Bagel family members over there. Thank you all. Thank you, those of you who joined last night. The Gold Bagel members, the brand new ones that have joined last night. I think 12 or 13 of you guys took me up on my offer and jumped in and became Gold Bagel members last night. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. And we got your coffee mugs on the way to you. They've all been ordered. Pretty good stuff. Vilbus Unglers, I will definitely be okay. I'm not sweating it. Just maneuvering is all. I hear you, my friend. It's all good, Vilbus. You're going to do fine. You're going to do great. You're going to make the move you need to make when you're ready to make it, when it's just right for you. And then in the next day or 2 or 3, you're going to go, oh, look at that. GameStop's taking a dump. And you're just going to be rubbing your hands going, oh, this is great. Oh, this is great. I'm already out of the money. Oh, down it goes. Get ready. Profits are just around the corner, and I love it. I congratulate all of you for doing your rollovers and keeping your eye open for that. Let me know how they go this afternoon's show. Tell me if you're able to successfully complete rollovers on your GameStops. Like I say, the shares are 130.92, and they're throwing you some nice premiums to be able to pull these off. I say take advantage of these people. Grab some cash if you can. Otherwise, do a break-even rollover at a higher strike price and just keep pulling that string. Because if you move up your strike price by $10, that's $1,000 a share per contract. So you got 500 shares, and you move up your strike price by $10. That is $5,000 your direction. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you. I think I'll wait till tomorrow, says Coyote. Whatever works for you, my friend. Tomorrow's Thursday. You got all day, and you got Friday. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, it's fun times. Thank you, everybody. We're down 211 on the Dow again. Wavering. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll see you this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks for being with me today. And enjoy the break, and I'll see you for the last hour. All right, guys? Okay. Bye for now.